only do things incredible can, cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
Kevin Hastings, Chip Carter, Tom Zinafani, and Terry Reinhardt. We're having another great Saturday morning with our McDonald's from Cherville breakfast. What did you fabulous people eat this morning?
What did you eat? You can tell everybody why you're in
I
there.
got a sausage biscuit.
Oh, I got a sausage. Have you ate it yet?
I brought that
Not
for
yet,
you,
not
Tom.
yet.
Well, good morning, JP. Happy Saturday to you, and I'm glad you're glad you're here. Good to see you, brother. And I did have an egg and cheese biscuit, and I got a strawberry banana smoothie here from the Cherville McDonald's here in Cherville, North Carolina, our favorite place, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by there, and we get it every Saturday morning before the show.
It's not meant to stay.
Chip, what you eating?
I just finished up a sausage and egg biscuit.
All right. Chip, you're not a drink spiller, are you? I see a flare chop ruining a lot of things right now.
We'll keep this close.
Get your sippy cup. Terry, what you eating
I
on this
had
morning?
a sausage and bacon McGriddle. It's pretty darn good.
Yeah, mine was too. Tom, what'd you get?
And a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit.
Intern Brooke may or may not make it in today. We'll see if she shows up. But good. Had a little car trouble, so we'll see if she makes it. If not, we'll see her next week. Couple of updates around the area as far as high school basketball. Crest fell to Ben Smith last night, 61-58. And Huss, the 12th seed, beats Ashbrook 51-48 to take the 1 seed. So Huss the 12th seed, will travel to Ben Smith for you folks wondering about that. Wow. They're in the regionals. The winner of that will be in the state championship. So Hunter Huss is 1 game away.
How about that?
From the state championship as the 12th seed.
Had lost 3 to him this year.
To Ashbrook?
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually have highlights of that, believe it or not. I got the – let's see, Huss. Let's see. I'll pull that up for you.
That was a controversy at the Crest game where the ball – I saw the film. The ball bounced off the top of the backboard and went in on a three-pointer. And if it hits the top of the backboard, it's supposed to be – I mean, I'm not a basketball official. Terry, you do it. If it hits the back of the backboard, it's out, is it not?
If it hits the sides or the top, no. Mm-mm.
So it's not if it hits the top.
It has to cross.
If it hits the bar or something up there, it's out. But
So
if it just hits the top, it's in.
Okay, then they didn't. There was somebody looked up the rule and posted.
I was gonna say, unless it's some type of high school rule or something, but like, yeah, if you can shoot, you can shoot over the backboard. Like Kobe Bryant's done it. I know that's the one person I remember.
I didn't know
Bird did it before.
I didn't know enough to speak on it. All I know is and I had to pull it up and send it to you, Kevin. The ball hit off the very top of the backboard.
Yeah.
And then went in.
Yeah, it's good. Good shot.
Okay.
Should be, right, Terry?
But to your point, Tom,
times, so.
to your point, I've seen people. Wow, that's to your point. I've seen calls where it does hit the top of the backboard and they call it out of bounds.
Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I don't know enough to speak about it. I've never seen anything like it.
So this is 20 seconds left in the game, 49-48. Huss was up, and this is Ashbrook.
What a great turnout.
With a chance to score here to win the game, and Huss gets the stop. I don't know about the crowd noise or whatever. I don't know if there's people cussing around it, but drive to the lane, layup. He had a chance, just didn't make it. Ashbrook kept the ball, and we'll get another stop here.
A double clutch kind of took a little off of that drive to the basket.
So, yeah, they end up winning. They're going to we'll see the stop against. They got 1 stop there, and then top of the key for Ashbrook getting hounded by the Huskies and end up in a jump ball. And I guess they end up getting it, and they hit 2 free throws to finish them off. So there's your Ashbrook Huss rivalry championship win or playoff win there, and they're going on to the Final Four. So got a little basketball highlight for you from a fan that went to the game. So Tom, I don't know if you do know anybody that's got that.
Yeah, I'll go get my phone's in my car. I'll get it in a little bit, but it was off the top of the backboard, and then it went in, and then somebody looked at the rule and said it should have been out, but I'm not real sure. I'll pull it up and send it to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Just curious on that. I know. I mean, as far as I know, Terry, you shoot over the backboard as long as you don't touch anything connected to it.
Thanks, Dennis.
Correct. That's what me and Terry are going with.
That's
And
what
my
I'm
life,
calling.
all my life. Terry actually refs, and so like, but yeah, I mean, you said Larry Bird shot over the backboard. Well, I'll pull it up.
I've seen an old. They did that. It was on the old. You remember the dazzling dunks and basketball bloopers video? Came out back in the late '80s or whatever. But yeah, there's a clip of Bird shooting over the backboard and just swishes it.
I'm trying to find things. So if folks are listening on air, we do this. This show is on YouTube every Saturday. Superheroes talking about, well, we're going to show you this or show you that. That's what we're talking about. Is you can go and watch YouTube on the ktcbroadcasting.com YouTube page every Saturday morning. So
I want to touch base, Kevin, if you don't mind.
Yep.
On the women's, in the 1A bracket now, it'd be Bishop McGinnis against Cherokee. Cherokee won last night 69-50. Bishop McGinnis won 60-42 over Mountain Heritage. And I want to tell you something. Has anybody watched Cherokee? How in the world do you beat somebody in the third round 93-28 in the third round of the playoffs? That's what Cherokee did to a team they played last week. I mean, how in the world can you make it to the third round and get beat by 60 or 70?
Terry, I witnessed that one time.
You know?
I witnessed that.
Yeah, that is so
And you know what's
hard
about
for
to
me
happen?
to see.
You know what's about to happen, Cherokee? They about to get beat by 30 by who they play next.
You know, well, they play Bishop McGinnis next.
So I saw this a few years back. I went up to see Cherokee play, and they played the Bessemer Girls, and the Bessemer Girls had won like 2 playoff games and smoked people. And then like Cherokee beat them by like 40. And I told people that was the best girls basketball team I ever seen. Well, a couple weeks later, I saw them down there when it was East Lincoln, when Chaz and them were playing. They were playing the same tournament. And they went down there and played some of those schools. And I walked in the gym, and it was like the score was 90-50. I was like, oh, Cherokee's smoking somebody else.
Winning.
Nope. So, like, how bad would that team have beaten that one? Like 90-2 or whatever it is?
This is actually really good. They've got clips of Bird, Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron all hitting shots over the backboard.
Here's for Terry. Here's Bird. Whoop. Look how far behind the backboard.
I know, yeah.
That's
He composed. Look at that. He composed himself.
It's no good.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah. If it hit the back rail like it's showing on this,
Yeah, that's out of bounds.
then it's out.
Yeah, if it touches something.
Yeah. If it
Do you
just hit
want me
the
to
top.
send this to you in Messenger?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But that's pretty neat. Tom's
There you
showing
go.
it.
Yeah, you can shoot over it. You can touch the top of the backboard. You just can't touch something.
There's a rail.
You
that
can't
goes
touch
up on
rails,
each side.
wires,
All right,
anything outside the play. The backboard is in play.
I'm
I sent
good
it-
with that. I
I
would have
sent-
called the same.
I sent. You think it was a good basket?
No, that would have been a good call. That it
But
does
they
not
let
count because
go.
it hit that rail.
It's hard to see if it hits the rail, man. I mean, the camera angle it's definitely bang bang. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's definitely.
And you
got
got to be the guy that's basically underneath. Where was he at? Was he on the yonder side or this
it's
side?
hard, it's hard to see where exactly he was.
But some other scores, I'll go while Tom's doing this. North Wilkes defeated T.W. Andrews. This is in the 2A, 58-55. East Burke up here out of the Lincoln and Conference with West Lincoln and all. They won 78-45 last night to move on. And in the 3A bracket, Stuart Kramer continues to win in the women's 67-41. Next up for Stuart Kramer will be North Lincoln, who goes to Stuart Kramer this coming week. They won 72-54 over Oak Grove last night. And then in the 4A, McDowell defeated Marvin Ridge 54-41. And here's another score I'm going to tell you beyond this score. Lake Norman defeats Watauga 86-66. I saw where the boys got eliminated for having an ineligible player this past week on Tuesday. But this Lake Norman girls team, folks, now listen. North Lincoln is in the 4th round coming up. Well, the 5th round coming up next week against Stuart Kramer. They have to go there. This Lake Norman team beat North Lincoln by almost 70. And the only game that this Lake Norman team has lost this year was against a team from Georgia that beat them. Mm-hmm. But they have been tremendously beating people by tons, you know. And it's hard to believe that they're still in it. North Lincoln's still in it. North Lincoln's only lost one game, and that was to them at the very first game of the year.
Wow. That's impressive.
All right, we'll try to be the judges here.
Yeah, it hits
Oh,
the
actually, I'm
side. We'll
curious.
see it.
See, we'll get a little.
There's a ref right there on the baseline. See him on the baseline? He's right there on the baseline.
Hold on, I hit something wrong. Of course I did. Give me 2 seconds. And then the computer all of a sudden is
Technology.
not letting me hit anything. Look, it's
Technology is a wonderful thing when it works.
What is it? Oh, it went.
There you
Okay. All right, there we go. So we'll pull it up there for the folks at home. Can see. All right, I got to pull that down. There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Where's the ref?
He's on the baseline.
Oh, over here. Then he could see it.
Near the shooter.
Yeah. Right there. If it hit that rail, then it's
Yeah.
no good.
So that's it's obviously we can't tell from our angle and,
Yeah.
and everything. So yeah, if it hits any of the black railing or wire or the wiring, the wire that goes up at that angle is the one that usually gets caught in high school basketball. But if it touches any of that, so you really can't. I don't know, like I said, if it hits the white part of that top up there, it's fine. But yeah, any of the black, I would say is out of bounds. So I mean, you watch it at full speed if you want. We'll see what Chip.
It's no, I don't. No, that hits part of the black. I think it changes. It ricochets off of something else besides that backboard. It just. Yeah. No, absolutely not.
The way it drops down like
Yeah. No. That's a bad non-call right there.
And they counted that?
Yeah, that's the game winner. That's the game winner. Look at that. It just, you see it. It ricochets. It changes direction.
Kicked it back.
Yeah.
We'll shut the fans up for a second.
Look,
I'm sorry, that should not have happened.
that's a bad non-call. Never mind the circumstances in the scenario. That's just a bad non-call.
Calvin said a man named Robert Pitchford has a post. I don't know if I'm friends with him. I think I might be friends with Laura Tharrington. I can look at her post, and it said that the officials also called a technical with 1 second left, and Crest leading by 2.
Can we stop, Tom? Just stop that. I don't want to hear any more of that.
Okay.
Because I don't want to hear the Crest fans blaming the refs for why they lost. They do this every time they lose in every sport and everything. You lost, take it. If you wouldn't have gave up 58 points, you wouldn't have lost.
Yeah.
Okay. That's I don't see a ref on the baseline at all.
He's on the baseline, Kevin.
Where?
Pan it out. Go back to the beginning.
He's
of the
over
clip.
here.
He's
Tom
over.
said.
He's over there, Kevin.
I just want to know where he's at. Is what I'm saying.
He's over there. He's being right there.
Okay, he's in the corner.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's right there.
So he's got the angle to see it. Whether he saw it or not, you don't know. But like, I'll tell you this: he wasn't sitting there thinking, "How am I going to screw Crest with 2 seconds left?" So stop it, Crest fans. Just get over you lost and take it. I'm sorry.
But now,
Yeah.
here's my deal.
We've done this. We've done this for years
well-
on this show in every sport. You get beat by 1 point, 1 shot. You gave up 58. Play defense one time.
There are other plays that occurred during
Play
the game.
defense one time is all I'm saying. Go ahead, Terry. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. The only thing I'm saying is the ref should be able, if he didn't make that call, and I know give or take, and I don't know what the guy said to him. There's where the other thing comes in. What did the guy say to him that got him the tech would probably be the next thing. Or did he walk over and say, you or something? You know what I'm saying? If he made it personal, then he deserved the tech. But if he didn't, you almost have to let that go.
Isn't Crest the one that's had the fans kicked out a couple times, or at least the whole student section thrown out on video and stuff? So like
They have been.
So
before,
I'm saying, come on. Every time I've never heard Tom. I'll tell you that we've been doing this show how many years?
A long time.
I've never had one person from Bessemer City or Cherokee call me to tell me the refs cheated them. So you get that all the time from Bowling Springs, so don't give up 58 points. You didn't get cheated by the refs. That's all I'm gonna say. So good luck to the Hunter Huskies next week on that. I guess real quick, I did want to update everybody. They did fix didn't fix it. They did finalize the brackets. They took one team out of Thomas Jefferson's the brackets conferences. They took one team out of Jefferson's, but everything else did stay the same for everybody.
They took Albemarle, right? No,
it was one of those.
Albemarle's in.
It was
the one that was up in Meisenheimer that we had never heard of before. Oh gosh, like Greystone or something.
Buford or something. Buford Prep. But there's the there's the
Is this the
up
new
there.
one that we got here?
Yeah,
That's
it
his
should
final.
be. It should be, Terry. So you can hold on to that one. So yep. So West Lincoln, Terry, and Burns are in the same conference, guys.
About
So,
time y'all wanted to play us.
yeah, we get to
All right, Terry.
do with that.
Now we get to head to head every year. We'll get to see if all this nonsense trash talk.
Well, what about these this 9-team conferences, y'all? Where you got you got 8 conference games. And Tom, I guess, are y'all going to do Shelby? I mean, Creston for Kings Mountain? Has that been discussed?
that would probably be it. But you almost have to play him, Kevin. Look who you're playing. I mean, no disrespect to anybody, but if you don't play Creston Kings Mountain, what's your RPI going to be?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I was
agree.
saying the same thing. Terry, you guys have traditionally played Cherryville out of conference. They're now in it, so that one's in there. Are y'all going to keep Ford?
No, Ford's out.
Okay, that's
So
what.
there you
Are
go.
y'all going to do the Lincoln County thing, or is that?
That is a good question of where we're going, but I know the Ford wanted out of it. So I'm just
okay.
glad we got the trophy.
So there will be
sorry,
no-
Ford.
There will be no more Battle of Hog Hill.
Well, they will be in basketball and stuff like that, probably. You know, you can add them in that, but football-wise, we have a trophy for that.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
we,
but
we won the last time, so we
also
get to keep it.
You get to keep it. The Battle of Hog Hill is no more in football.
Sitting up here bragging about being a team that lost 70 straight games.
Somewhere along the line, you got to have a W.
Well, he brags.
They did at the end of the
He
year.
brags about his basketball team beating another one that's down 2 starters on the road with a losing record, and they beat him, and he's bragging about it. I'm like, oh my god!
I don't. Wait a minute, Tom. We beat a team
That was down 2 starters
that
on the road
we
that
had
has a
only
losing record.
40% of our starters out there, and the rest of ours were subs.
And they had 60% of their starters out, and they suck. So I mean, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, they won about 30 games. That's more than
No, they had-
like
no,
10
they had-
or 11 other teams.
They had a losing record, Terry, and it was at home for Boston. Okay, I mean it's just so dumb.
Tom, we had
It's
2
just so
guys
dumb.
that has
It's
never
so
happened
dumb.
in the NBA. Tom, never
It's so
happened.
dumb.
We had 2 guys score over 40 that are basically, 43 for one, 41 for the other. Never happened in the NBA.
Okay, well, I'm proud of you. I mean, you beat a team at home with a losing record who was down
That's
2
what.
starters.
No, what it is we teach all of our guys. Y'all do not.
Yeah, I'm
So,
sure they're taught that.
there's
They're,
the
they're taught
difference.
that, or they go to after-school detention,
Yeah.
Kevin.
So I'm not sure, Chip, how we
They
got to
run
that.
after
But
Yeah.
practice.
Anyway,
anyway, well, folks, when we come back, we'll cover. We got NASCAR, golf, baseball, basketball,
I
NFL.
got one more.
What you got?
Well, we keep talking about everybody else. I
I was
wanted to mention in the 2A that we probably never mentioned. Bandy's did defeat Lincoln Charter 63-57. So Bandy's moves on.
Wow.
To play Reedsville next.
Bandy's is good. That's,
Andy's put out Burns.
yeah,
first
they
time.
and Shelby. They're
Yeah.
they got game. The 6'9" kid you're talking about.
Yeah, he's good.
He's not an inside player. He
That's
plays
that-
like a 3.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that
He's
Lincoln County.
got some range and he can move.
Yeah.
That's that Lincoln County area.
They're in Catawba County.
Yeah.
All right, I think Kevin's ready to go to commercial.
I was reading my trying to get more organized with my tweets and stuff. So, you got to watch some of these things, and I'm reading them. Make sure
You
there's
got to edit
no
them. Make
bad-
sure
there's no
that-
more no bad words in there.
Make sure we stay out of the FCC.
Right. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. Talk more sports. KTCBroadcasting.com.
3-car battle for the race lead as they streak their way down the back straightaway. 3 wide down the backstretch. Nobody giving an inch.
Brian Truex is out of gas and up into the wall in turns 3 and 4.
Jesse Love has already lost the lead. Guess who is the new race leader? His teammate Austin Hill.
Riley Herbst to the inside, door-to-door with Sam Mayer.
It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Circuit of the Americas. Saturday, March 1st at 2 p.m.
On Carolina Country WCSL, 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, online at KDCBroadcasting.com.
Hi, I'm KJ Simpson. Here's Charlotte Hornets basketball on Carolina Country, WCSL 92.9 FM and 1590 AM, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Apples for apples, oranges for oranges. Everybody else's price is beat at Marburger Chevrolet in Shelby. Marburger Chevrolet will beat any price on any new car with same trail level. Shop around and compare, and you'll be riding away in your new Chevrolet. Select new Chevy models now, 0.9% APR financing for 60 months, plus no payments till June. Coming in for all the details. Everybody else's price is beat. from Marburger Chevrolet, 200 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, online at marburgerchevy.net. Tax time is here, and since 1961, AgControl Business Services in Gastonia has been serving this area with the best in income tax service. And you're dealing with IRS enrolled agents with over 120 years of combined experience, and get same-day service, and most returns are processed right while you wait. Get electronic filing too, and while there, shop Nest and Canvas Custom Jewelry. AgControl Business Services, 428 West Main Avenue in Gastonia. Call 704-864-8767. Open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9 to 6. Call for Saturday hours. Closed on Sunday and Wednesday. It's time to ride. It's time to head to Fat Daddy Baggers and Custom Fabrication in Cherryville and get your bike ready for the open road. You can go from mild to wild at Fat Daddy Baggers and Custom Fabrication. They've got you covered. Need audio? They can make your bike loud and proud without breaking the bank. Give them a call at 704-802-4063 or check out their Facebook page. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 2 on Saturday. Fat Daddy Baggers and Custom Fabrication. Located at 905 East Main Street in Cherryville.
But I was bad to the bone.
Dodge Performance Days are underway at Abernathy Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lincoln. Get in on big performance. Lease a new 2025 Dodge Durango GT for $439 per month for 42 months. $39.99 total due at lease signing. No security deposit required. And just announced, lease a new 2024 Dodge Hornet RT for $278 per month for 24 months. Come on in for all the details at Abernathy Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1442 East Main Street in Lincoln, all during Dodge Performance Days.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. They're going to turn their mics on in just
Maybe.
a moment. There we go. There we go.
We
Their mics
could.
back on. We could, or you
Possibly.
could just have me keep rambling on.
I was waiting for Brooke to get here and push the button.
I didn't even know what sport I wanted to do, actually. You guys got any requests, Terry?
Why don't we just go ahead and get into this basketball? He's
Since
been
y'all
talking
were.
about
Go
joking. He's
ahead.
been sending this
Go ahead.
stupid text messages.
Well, I'll
again.
tell you what. I tell you what we can start with is the Charlotte Hornets almost knocked off the best team in the East last night.
my daughter unfortunately was a little under the weather and couldn't make it to the game, but she said, that the Hornets had a lead late in the game. But you know, when you're playing a team that's not having a very good season, sometimes you get a little bit lazy, and I think that's what happened last night.
Our resident woman beater Miles Bridges had 46 points last night, so that's he went off. They couldn't stop him. So Nurkic is really big. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that man in person, Tom. Like he's something to have down there. I will say that that's something. I know that they were going to get rid of was it Mark? What's his
Williams.
name? Williams.
Yeah.
Like Nurkic, he's a big body. LaMelo only had 13. He played his normal.
He was in foul trouble.
Yeah, he did foul out actually at the end of the game. Tom, he had his little cheering section up in the upper deck. Every time he touched it, they would scream. And the Diabate, where's he from? Is that state? That's not a state player, is he? Musa Diabate.
I don't.
Michigan.
I was
Okay.
getting ready to say, I don't think.
I know y'all had
state.
some names last year. I couldn't remember.
Our guys playing across the ocean.
So this dude, I'll say this. Last night he had 6 points, and that was some of the best 6 points I've seen. Like very athletic, take it to the rack type guy. I was impressed by him. The rookie, he looks he is an athlete like we talked earlier. He's so raw, and he had 9 points. It was good seeing him in person. I think Miles had 46 points. I don't even want to talk about him at all, but the rest of the team you don't even know most of them. Seth Curry had a couple shots.
I was about to say the Seth play when I went and watched them play the Timberwolves earlier in the week, and they Seth
he hit it 3 times, so he went up higher on that 3-point.
Yeah, I was about to, well, he went
the father son 3-point list.
He went 5 for at one point Wednesday night he was 5 for 5 and he was 4 for 4 from behind the arc.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Tom, I'll say this: Darius Garland is nasty.
He's good.
I don't know if there's anything.
They had to work to keep him in Cleveland, but he helps us out. I mean, he could have a big game.
I wouldn't want to have to guard him and deal with him at all. Like he's now. I will say this: it's the NBA. Everybody talks smack. The Hornets started talking smack early, and he was talking a lot back to the bench and stuff. At that point, you win by 1 against a bad team, maybe concentrate on talking so much.
Make sure you pull out the W.
but he's solid. Mitchell is solid in person. Mobley and Allen, they're pretty big guys to see out there. Mitchell's just I'm not
gonna take nothing away from him. He can play.
Yeah, I've always liked him. So, but yeah, I was impressed by Garland. I was really
role players.
53 and 10 and 13 straight wins. I think they opened up the season with 16, 17 straight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, there was a guy. There was a few Cavs fans very concerned about the streak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's perfectly understandable, but you're going to have a bad game every now and then, but you know what? If you have a bad game and you still win, it's a win, move on.
I do hope nobody took my advice yesterday that asked me about that game. I was like, "Oh, Cavs by 35 tonight, boys."
Especially after the Hornets were just getting destroyed, to set the record for the biggest margin of loss in 3 straight games. Yeah. I don't think Ball was playing. They might not have had Miles Bridges playing either. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but they were down a few starters and getting blown out.
Here's how you can make stats lie. Here's the greatness.
That is
the only players in NBA history with 800 games averaged 13, 5, 1.4, 49%, and 30% 3-pointers. Any of that. There's your Mike Trout stats for you.
That is young.
That's how you squeeze in people like that in those conversations. You ever thought Thaddeus Young is an all-time great, Tom?
No, not.
I didn't even know there was. I thought Thaddeus Young signed the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, it sounds like a name that did. Yeah.
So here's Magic with some comments.
I don't know if you saw this, but Gilbert asked Steph Curry, who's the greatest point guard of all time?
Are you the best point guard ever? Yes.
Do you think Steph has surpassed you as the greatest point guard of all time?
Okay, so if he got more than 5 championships, if he got more than 3 finals MVP and 3 league MVPs, number 1 in assists all time in the finals, number 2 in double-doubles, number 1 in triple-doubles, number 4 in steals all time in the playoff. If he got more than those numbers, he's the best.
Let me ask you this.
So now we're going after Magic.
Oh, yeah.
Steph's not even top 3.
So when Magic retired, a lot of people had him in the argument as the best player ever. I remember because Michael was just winning his first 3 at that point. So that was him putting him in the conversation with them. And a lot of people did have Magic still in there. And there was argument, was it Magic or Kareem? And I've got highlights that I was going to show of this right here. And I'm going to say it was Magic and not Kareem because I'm going to watch Wilt Chamberlain absolutely destroy Kareem here for a minute 22. Like, he's probably Lou Alcindor at this point. But, I mean, not many people's blocking the sky hook, and just Wilt was just taking it to him. But I just block the sky hook, That's crazy. I'm sure there's some the Russell get it in on Terry. I'm sure there's something going too. Just that's just beating Kareem shot back in the face. I've never seen this highlight of these two playing against each other. This is old Will, right, Terry?
Yeah, that's. I mean, he's with the Lakers. It's later in his career.
That's old Will, young Kareem.
Yeah.
Just taking them on him.
And I don't think they had the best relationship. No, I don't think they were.
Well, no, because they started saying that Kareem was the best, and Wilt's like, I'm like, not. What do you think, Terry?
All you do is go back and let's watch this.
Right.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
Right. Like, I'm just.
He's learning. There's the difference. Wilton's older. Kareem's coming in. He's learning. He's learning everything that he can do at the center position against this guy. So,
yeah.
Well, it's
Kareem had a sky hook and Magic Johnson, but
just gonna tell you this, Kevin, Shaq's better than either one of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ask anybody today.
I will say this. A minute ago
Shaq's
when
better
they
than
was
either one.
asking, didn't they?
Are you being sarcastic? Right?
No, I'm,
yes, I'm
but
being
I'm being
sarcastic.
real.
Conversation we brought up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think Shaq would. I don't think Kareem can guard Shaq. I don't think I don't know if Shaq can guard Kareem, but Wilt, I think, would be okay
Guard
with
either one of them.
Yeah. That was 20 points, 24 rebounds, and 10 blocks against Kareem.
Yeah, Wilt was good, man.
He was
35-year-old after patellar tendon repair.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, Terry.
All right. What I want to ask is, didn't they not ask Curry, are you the best point guard?
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You're going to say he's not a point guard.
He's not. I'd like to know how many assists Draymond Green's gave him.
Please pull up the Oscar Robertson
I mean-
clip again, please.
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, is that not what we're talking about?
I mean, does
Magic
Steph-
made everybody else better around him. Does Steph make everybody else better around him? Maybe him scoring points, but as far
There's
as
an argument that could be made he
everything else,
does.
He does not. He does not make everybody else better around him. He can shoot. I'm never going to take that away from him. He's one of the best shooters that we've ever had. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to take that away.
Well, Chip put it this way: who's the best role player they've ever had that wasn't already like a star? So if he does make people better, who did he make better? Name one role player that ever played for the Warriors that isn't like really an all-star. I guess Draymond.
No, I was going to say Andrew Wiggins.
I'd love to pull up how many assists that Draymond has gave Curry.
Oh, everyone he's ever had.
Oh, good.
Would you still? You would forgive me for saying this. You're going to consider
Maybe
Clay a star?
Draymond a point guard.
Yeah, I got to.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
if you consider Scottie Pippen a star, then Klay Thompson's a star.
Scottie Pippen's better than Klay Thompson. Scottie Pippen's a no doubt Hall of Famer. Klay Thompson,
everything that Scottie Pippen did, it was better than Klay Thompson,
except for shooting a 3-pointer.
But at the end of the day, they both averaged 16 points in their careers.
But Scottie's stats go beyond just points,
right?
Yeah.
Well, Klay was a top defender in the league.
Yeah, he was defensive.
He was like one of the best defenders
until he
in the
got
league.
hurt.
Now,
I think him being out 2 years definitely.
It hurt his legacy. Yes, I would agree with that.
But Durant, Iguodala, like anybody you name that was like, there is no Steve Kerrs, there is no like Horace Grants, there is no Tony Kukocs that someone like, you know, that was a role player that never was an all-star that like contributed to
Tony
the
was
Warriors.
pretty good, man.
That's what I'm saying, like, but he wasn't an all-star, but
and Jordan made him better.
Right, that's what I'm kind of saying. That's what Terry's saying about the point guard thing as far as Curry.
See, that's where when people ask me and I go back.
Iverson, is he a point guard? No. I consider Iverson and Terry, him and Curry the same thing.
It's just very small too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Curry runs like a 2 guard. He don't run the offense like a point guard.
It's like when people ask me the best people that come from state, and I'll say Nate McMillan. A lot of people say, "What about David Thompson?" Nate McMillan did everything, from making you better as far as a point guard to rebounds to assists. I mean, stealing. I mean, defense. Everything that you could think.
That's a valid point. I see your point, but I'm still taking David Thompson.
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of people would. It's like they're going to take Steph Curry.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Like Steph and Iverson. Here's what they do. The offense is run for them to score. That's not a point guard, and that's what that's what Terry's talking about. There is that their offense. Magic brings up the ball. Stockton brings up the ball to run the offense to get the best score possible. They're running the offense to get Iverson and Curry a shot.
Watch Golden State play and name me how many times that Green brings up the ball. Quite often, he brings it up.
Yeah, you bring your power forward out the middle.
It's your point forward, kind of like your Anthony Mason used to be. Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't guard Draymond. I would just stand below the 3-point line until he gets there. Like, I don't know. Like, but all right, is this the ugliest free throw for him? Well, we've had some ugly ones throughout the years. This is I don't know.
A contract. Who can forget Yogi Mania up in Portland?
That gives Bill Cartwright a run for his money right there.
What did we just see?
What
this guy's name?
What's it?
He hands it.
Did he use the force?
No,
what
look,
in the
it
world?
comes out like this or something.
Did it go in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
then what?
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's not effective, but
I don't take
golly,
nothing away from a kid who keeps hitting.
Listen, Tom, we the Charlotte Hornets wasted a draft pick on someone who does this, a number 2 overall. Again, this is the NBA. How do you make the NBA and do this? Like, I just.
Did it go in?
Yes, these
It
guys
went
getting
in.
paid millions of dollars.
I want to
And
know how
his
much he
only
gets paid.
talent- That's what I'm saying.
It went in.
His
I want to
only
know how
talent
much he makes.
is being tall.
But it went in. I mean, what are we? Why are we?
Yeah,
why are we
I'm with you.
critiquing
I'm
it? It
with
went
you.
in.
I'm with you 100% on that.
I mean, if
I'm not going to change.
What is he? Is he a 7-footer? Right.
I don't
He's
know.
a
I don't even know who that
I'm not
is.
going to
So-
change somebody if he
So
continues to hit.
If you've got a
How about
7-footer that hits 70%, you're good.
He's staying with
How
you.
about Steph
I'm
Curry's
letting go.
first dunk in what was it? 6 years.
I think his last one he said too.
Yeah, he said he wouldn't do it again. So here you go, getting up 6'3".
Get it, Spud.
I know, right? Nate Robinson's a better dunker than Steph Curry.
But he lights it up on threes.
Oh yeah, I ain't got nothing to do. Yeah. How about a little dribbling exhibition? Some from Terry's most hated person, but one of the most underrated NBA players.
Better
of all
point
time.
guard than Steph Curry.
Yeah, well, he's in the top there. If Curry classifies as a point guard, like I said, I've got him maybe 2. This is the Dominique Wilkins All-Star charity game. Isaiah Thomas is out there putting on a little show for the folks. There's Clyde the Glide. There's James Worthy.
There's Magic.
There's Magic Shoes right there. I know those.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's just waiting for Isaiah to get up and give him a kiss, though. Zeke.
It's kind of funny. Those guys, I appreciate how good they are now more than I did at the time.
Yes.
You know, I didn't really appreciate how good Magic Johnson is until you sit back and watch some of those highlights and say, man, he was really freaking good.
Well,
man.
and all like the All-Star game, all the drama and stuff between Michael and Isaiah, but man, how good they could read each other in an All-Star game. They were fun to watch play together in an All-Star game.
This is Barkley's been going back and forth with people this week. Draymond was comparing himself to Barkley, and this is Barkley putting up 54 points on Golden State in the playoffs. And then he got at Kendrick Perkins. I don't know if y'all see that. He called him a fool and was talking about him on. He said we'll talk to the person because I'm gonna be working for y'all fools next year. But yeah, him and Kendrick Perkins getting into it this week.
What was the deal?
Perkins said the Lakers saved the league.
What happened
And
with
Barkley's like, y'all need to get off this Lakers.
Stephen A. and LeBron?
Stephen A. basically had made comments on Bronny, and he didn't like it.
Oh my gosh!
And so Daddy is coming over to protect his son. And
He's a grown man now.
well, at that point, when you're in the NBA,
you're
right.
a grown man, or even if you're in the D League.
Well, my wife Jackie doesn't watch sports that much. You know, I can't remember what the context was. It might have been like we were watching YouTube videos and it just scrolled to the Stephen A. Smith. So he just starts his, you know how Stephen A. does, like he'll start out like me and then he goes into full, like he goes from a 3 to a 10. You know? So my wife looks at me and said, "What's wrong with that man?" I was like, honey, he's always like that. I was like,
he starts very low and then he gets really excited.
Yeah, I mean, he starts screaming and yelling.
He's like Matt Damon in that SNL skit. I'm going to start at a 3. I'm going to take it to an 11 real quick.
Yeah, he does. I mean, it was just funny to watch the look on her face. She's like, I mean, she was serious. She was like,
Is he okay?
What's wrong with him?
Is he
I was
okay?
like, no, honey, he's just always like that. But you know,
Check out the future here. This is an LED. This is the Raptors.
Sweet.
This is the Toronto Raptors LED practice court where they can change the court to
That's awesome.
anything they want. So you can put a picture of your kid on there if you
I want one for my living room.
Right. We're gonna LED our living room floors but there's your future right
I
there.
liked it better when it was just a hardwood floor than you do.
Love that. That's awesome.
Hardwood floor.
Break out the parquet.
I tell you what, man, it's just like all the traditions out the window. Somebody asked me last night, though. I know it's a different sport, but a guy who played college baseball, he said, "What do you think of the? You know, they wear the wrist thing that tells them what the pitch is and pitch clock and things." And I said, "I guess it's just progress because we have to time and all this stuff. I guess things change, so I guess I got to get used to the basketball. No more traditional hardwoods. They're all going to have this, but."
Well, have that hardwood option as part of the LED option.
Check out the Mavericks bench.
Where?
One player. They had 6 players the other night.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
With all the injuries. Mm-hmm. One guy sitting over on the bench.
Can they not promote people from the D League?
No, but think about it. As soon as Anthony Davis
I'm
come
sorry.
over, he was hurt. Now Kyrie Irving's out for the year. You got a team that was a playoff team that's not going to make it. They're barely in right now.
Don't look. But I mean, okay, OKC's in a entirely different
18,
realm.
19
but
games to
who's
go.
second in the West right now?
Oh, the Lakers.
The Lakers. I mean, when did?
Yeah.
Right now, that trade's paying off.
We'll see. They play Boston tonight.
I got a couple more things before we go over the standings real quick. Who is the all-time winningest percentage in NBA history as a basketball player?
Percentage?
The all-time winningest percentage. Who
we
walked on the court and who was the number one all-time?
Didn't you? We
From
went
college all the way up through.
No, NBA.
No, Kyle
We
Busch.
gotta
We're not
look at
talking
Kyle
about
Busch.
minor league wins.
How many
okay?
JV games did
Yeah,
they have?
yeah. Easy
he didn't say that.
Easy there, Crash Davis.
He
all right?
didn't say that.
I thought we went on the. Wasn't it Andre Iguodala? Okay.
It is not. It is who I keep telling you guys. Should be maybe top 5 point guard, if not number one. I mean, small forward, if not number one of all time. Ginobili. Manu. 721. Tim Duncan, 719. And Tony Parker, 711. Those dudes were good. That's what we was talking about the other day, is how good that team was. And that's not Avery Johnson.
How complimentary
Danny
those three are of each other. Their games just fit so well together, and they got along and played well.
How about 2 minutes? All right, guys, real quick.
And very little ego.
This is actually talking about Charlotte Hornets basketball on national TV. The Rise of Ryan Russillo. And we'll see what you guys think about it.
LaMelo Ball. He's a guy that puts up great
Chandler
numbers
Parsons.
on a bad team. You hear him in the talks about teams seeking interest on him. Is this something that the Hornets should entertain like this summer? Is this like would that just what can you get for a guy like LaMelo Ball? Like what's his value?
His value is probably a little bit lower than 13-year-olds would think.
Thank you. I didn't want to say it, Ryan.
He
Thank you.
is incredibly talented. His start again at his size. Like when you see him when it's nice, you're like, man. And then look, he can see over the top of everybody because of all of his size. But Charlotte is kind of in this Atlanta Hawks thing where you have this franchise guy, you have a local attraction. I've heard it enough. I'm shocked at how often Trey is defended to me because I'm like, look, at least with Trey, he's won some big games and he's not afraid of the moment. So I'll give him that. But I look at some of the LaMelo numbers, like he's at 41% overall this season, and he takes the most shots per game in the NBA. If you look at his field goal attempts per 36 minutes, I looked this up, so I don't know if it's changed a little bit, but a couple weeks ago I looked it up. It's the most field goal attempts per 36 since Kobe in 2006. LaMelo's nice. That should not be something that happens, okay? So they're in this I don't want to say that they're stuck because this ownership group is different. I think they're smart. I think they get it. Again, I don't know that the market for him would be as desirable as maybe the numbers would tell you and the popularity. But this team is stuck. If this is what they're going to run out there every season, where it's like, hey, man, just go for it. He's been through a bunch of coaches. You can see it different times. Every coach that he's had has had moments of like frustration with his approach. So like when it's rolling, it's fun. The shot making, again, the passing, it's not somebody who's without talent, because that would be so unfair of me to say. But his approach to the game holds your franchise back. And I don't know how long it's going to take for him to mature and evolve and get to that point where it's like, you need to find a way to play this game a little bit differently because this doesn't work.
Terry?
Well, we have said that forever and ever and ever, and Tom defends this guy. But as we
Tom
can
just wants
see,
us hot dog.
it's down to the bottom of the league again, Tom.
No, I agree with I agree with everything that guy says. I'm just saying that all the Jacob Elliott's out there like this kid. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying they like him. They buy his jersey. They show that.
Good. If you want to go watch a loser every year, then that's what you keep.
I'm saying that's what gives him the value because of the fan appeal.
I don't want to go watch him. How many people are down there now?
Yeah, Terry, but
you're not 13.
Seats. But there's empty seats there.
Yeah, but you're just a grumpy old man. I mean, the kids like to watch LaMelo play.
If you trade him right now, there'll be more empty seats right now.
Depends on who you got for him, Chip.
But based on that guy's analysis, I mean, and I don't disagree. If you want to build a winner, which would be my priority, get what you can out of him and start building a team. Because you're not. He is what he said. The thesis of what he said is dead on. You keep running back what you've got right now. It's the behavior of a crazy person.
I think somebody might throw something at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the way the Hornets have drafted, I would rather them trade for players.
That's a valid point too.
Is he the best guy on this team?
Well, I hope this new ownership group though, and the team or the group running the franchise now has a different approach in the draft.
Is he the best guy on this team?
I think
I'd rather have Brandon Miller than him.
I think wife beater's probably.
I forgot
the best.
about Miller too. I was about to say there's another one.
Yeah.
But well, with those three, who did?
Look at that. Cavs have already clinched the playoff spot, Terry.
With those three, Terry, which if that's your best players, which one of those jerseys would you want your kid to be wearing?
Which one of?
If you're a Hornets fan, whose jersey would you want your kid to wear?
Brandon Miller.
Yep.
I wouldn't want none of them.
I'll take him, and that'd be the first one I'd take for my kid.
Well, he was involved in a murder.
Well, but that's past, and it don't come up no more.
He
killed him a couple years ago. We're good. Hey, once you're dead,
you look at
this. Miles Bridges allegedly just smacked her up a few years ago before he got that big deal.
Gibson,
that's what I said. We don't have any
Jeffries.
We don't have any good basketball role models.
Yeah, Moore, Nurkic.
We don't have anything.
I mean,
there's an argument that can be made that's an existential problem across the
Mark
board.
Williams, Grant Williams. I mean, who else would you want?
That's what I'm saying.
You're only picking three guys. If you're saying the franchise of this team, and you would have to put Ball in there, Bridges in there, and Miller. And then, I would end up going to Seth Curry, I guess, if you want something that's, I mean, who else you going to go pick off this team?
That's what I'm saying. Do you want your kid playing like LaMelo Ball or acting like him? No. Do you want him smacking women? No. Do you
if
want
it's
him
not
you want
LaMelo
him handing
Bridges,
guns over in a murder? No. So who do I want?
Who do you go get?
A Nurkic jersey? That's what I'm saying. They're 14 and 48. Tom would convince me which jersey to buy.
Yeah. There was a Charlotte radio show.
Come on, seriously. At some point, you got to look in the mirror.
Get you a Kelly Tripuccia.
We got the prettiest color combinations, jersey combinations, maybe in sports, and we can't get a team to even get on TV. Yeah. Speaking of TV, some kid was talking about the Duke Lakers thing the other day. About Duke being on TV a lot. We'll talk about this in a little bit. Is that Duke is supposedly scheduled this year to be on ESPN more than the Lakers, and it was talking about a kid staying in school or not. He'll be on ESPN and NIL if he goes a rookie deal. He'll get less money and won't be on ESPN. We'll give ESPN less for his shoe deal. So it was more lucrative for him to go to Duke. Actually, Austin Reeves was talking to her. It was Austin Reeves talking to a kid saying it's to go to Duke for a year than it is to come straight to the Lakers for that. But Tom, you guys have clinched, the only team in the NBA.
Yep, we're getting there. We're ready. We'll be at home for the first series. We're 8 games up on Boston, who is somehow head and shoulders above everybody else, even though they're 8 games back. I think Boston's gonna have a hard time getting out. They might have a hard time getting out of the. They have to play the Heat. Heat might take them out. Magic might take them out. They might not even get to the second round.
The Bucks.
I'm about to say, everybody be worried about Giannis.
Yeah.
I would be worried about Giannis as well because that's who we conceivably could face in the second round, and that will be.
And they've got a killer who can make a last shot too on that team. So
then we'll see how good Mobley is. Yeah, wrong answer there.
What do you mean? You didn't answer the question.
That's what I'm talking about.
You didn't even answer the question.
Yeah. There's no answer there, Tom. Mobley against Giannis. That don't even be in the same page on the same answer and even have the same zip code.
It won't be on the same page, the same answer. I mean, I'm trying to make sense of this word salad here. I think what he's trying to say is Mobley is not an answer for Giannis. I think that's what he's trying to enunciate. He does have a little bit of a problem with communication, but I'd say we have Allen and Mobley. We have, you know what, we got a foul guy on the bench too. We can always bring in Tristan Thompson to go in there and hammer him a couple
y'all got
times.
him on y'all's roster.
Yeah, he's on the roster too.
You'll need them all.
So what's that? Tristan Thompson's been on the roster. Yeah, he is. They brought him back.
I thought he retired. I did.
He can go in there and be the foul guy. Go in there and nail him. Go in there and get him one time. But I think
and then
I like
it'd be
our
Mitchell against Leonard. That'd be neat.
Yeah,
that'd be a good.
They'll both score a ton.
That would not be. It'd be Garland would have to guard him. There's no way you're gonna put Mitchell up there to guard Leonard or Leonard to guard Mitchell. That's not gonna happen.
Well, I think it'll be a fun series. It'll be tough. I mean, once you get rid of the crap in the East, there's a lot of crap. It'll be fun. Once you get down to the last 4 teams, it'll be fun.
Well, I just hope the NBA didn't fix them a Celtics-Lakers series again, like we always like Kendrick said, the Lakers have saved the NBA. Like, and I'm watching all these tweets that someone tweeted like nobody suffered like us, like Lakers fans, like tweeting out like,
oh my
gosh.
Like,
and so like it's one of those things like if that team's not good. Like we've survived. We've had it's been okay. Like
look,
talk to a Hornets fan.
Can I make a comparison here? Look, the New York Yankees haven't won a World Series in a long time. Yeah. I'm not going to make any comment that nobody has suffered like we have. Oh, please give me a break.
Yeah, so they're the number 2 team in the West now. So there you go, Tom. They're better than Jokic and.
I mean, they've done more with what they've got here than what I thought they would do. I thought they really hurt themselves. They proven me wrong.
Can you imagine if I know this is a big if LeBron can light some kind of fire under thank you, Luka, and he actually gets himself into shape.
I think Jokic just proved you don't need to be a physical freak to dominate.
But I'm just saying what Luka's game is, and then get him in shape. Just how the next level that would take it.
You know, to a certain extent, Barkley was like that, man. I mean, some of these guys just aren't.
Barkley was in better shape, I think, than people realize. He was.
I don't trust the Lakers until they play somebody who's going to play Luka and do what Boston did to him, where you're going to make him play defense. We're going to attack you through him. Because Luka's still going to have to play defense against somebody.
Well, OKC can do that to him.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
I'm not trusting Luka and LeBron to play defense for anybody.
Yeah.
Seriously,
so, the West still goes to OKC.
Being hyped for a regular season game and doing your things, they need their role players to do their thing. But just the whole vibe of and everything of him ended up on the Lakers is just. I'm not a Mavericks fan. I can only imagine how they feel and everything, and they've had success, but ugh.
How all this massive trade and all these plans that their GM had just have completely backfired, at least in the short term.
Well, for Dallas, this went haywire.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, even Cuban yesterday or the day before said
he said he didn't even know they made the trade.
Well, he's not involved in the decision making process anymore. He's only got like 25% ownership, so he's not involved in the decision making.
Really got
but he said he was like, we should have got more for Luka. He's like, if you're going to trade him, he's like, I would have never traded him, but if you're going to, fine. He says, we should have got Anthony Davis, one other player from the Lakers, and 4 first-round picks. He says that's what I would that would have been my floor, and we should have been able to get that.
What did they get for him?
They got even trade, wasn't it?
Anthony Davis and Max Christie and
Max. Okay,
and no picks. No picks came with the deal.
I can't remember if there was one later.
I'm trying to see.
I think there was one, if I remember off the top of my head. But it was it wasn't like.
And Anthony Davis played what, one game?
Half a game.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And then he's out.
Yeah,
the trades. Gracious, let's see.
And then to turn around and lose Kyrie Irving like a couple weeks later.
The Lakers got Luka. Maxi Kleber, I don't know if I'm saying Markieff Morris. The Mavericks got AD, Max Christie, and 1 first-round pick, and 2029 first-round pick from the Lakers. Gotcha. And both of them got $55,000 from the Jazz. The Jazz got Jalen Hood, Shafino, 2025 second-round pick from the Lakers, and a 2025 second-round pick from the Mavericks.
Second-round picks, man. Those are valuable.
Nothing.
Right. They're just kind of like a shot in the dark.
All right, only one. All right, I don't know who to go to with this one. Only one NBA player. You can spell the words slam dunk with the letters in his name. And I'm going to make Terry read it. Or anybody want to try to read this man's name.
Oh, gosh.
He don't look real.
Sandro?
That's what I said, Sandro.
Sandro.
Good job, guys. What's his last name?
Yeah.
Mamukilashvili.
Sandro Mam.
Mamukilashvili.
Mamukilashvili.
That's all I'm saying.
Mamuka Asheville. That's what that.
Is that Italian?
Sandro Mam.
Is that Italian, Tom?
I think it's southeast. Excuse me. That would be yes, southeastern Europe.
Oh, okay. So,
Sandro Mamukilashvili.
He's from Georgia. He's a Slavic country. She's from Georgia.
If he was in Hollywood, it'd be Sandro Mamu.
Yeah, that'd be
that
it.
definitely
That's
be it.
just it.
Well, that's all I would ever say.
Sandro M. Sandro M.
That's it.
All right, y'all got anything else on the NBA before we move on here and get into some college basketball and stuff?
Man, we're getting ready to get into tournament time.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a little college sports. JP's going to sit up, do a little work. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Don't have his intern.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Green is up, and up to the gearbox everyone goes.
Heads to the Valley of the Sun.
Trouble back straightaway. Brandon Jones, the first car to get out of shape.
For high-octane action at Phoenix Raceway.
White flag is in the air, but now they're crashing. Massive crash at the start-finish line. Justin Allgaier, Ryan Sieg.
It's the GovX 200.
Saturday afternoon at 4:30 on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Every weekend right here.
Welcome to Kyle Petty's Back Then Again Country Countdown alongside the NASCAR legend. We're Charlie and Debbie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought they were going to lose their girls to Carl Edwards. Have you ever seen Carl Edwards? When he first came around, I didn't know he had a shirt because he never seemed to have one on.
He can't even play the hook.
It's Kyle Petty's Back Then Again Country Countdown with Charlie and Debbie.
Friday afternoons at 3 p.m. on Carolina Country WCSL, online at ktcbroadcasting.com. This month's Scholar Athlete of the Month is Olivia Ferraro of North Lincoln High School. The award is sponsored by McDonald's, KTC Broadcasting, and WhatsUpShopper.com. Olivia is a junior at North Lincoln High and is the daughter of Joe and Lori Ferraro. She is team captain of the track team and also runs cross country. She has a 4.6 grade point average. Her advanced AP courses include language, human geography, pre-calculus, and government. Her extracurricular activities include being a restaurant hostess, hiking, and biking. She is a member of the Holy Spirit Catholic Church. She helps every year with the Denver Christmas Parade. After graduation, Olivia would like to attend college and study business and analytics and also compete in track and field and cross country. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting WhatsUpShopper.com Student Athlete Award recognizes not only the accomplishments in athletics, but also for overall achievement in the classroom and community. Sponsored by McDonald's, KTC Broadcasting, and WhatsUpShopper.com. If you've been thinking about having the roof of your home or business replaced, now's the time. Call Max Baxter & Sons Roofing in Bessemer City, offering roof replacement for your home or business. They'll be more than happy to come out and give you a free estimate. With over 33 years of experience, they take customer service seriously because you are tops with us. Call 704-629-4064 or visit their website at maxbaxter.com and like them on Facebook too.
Tee it up for a great golf experience at the Cherryville Golf and Country Club. And yes, the course is open to the public 7 days a week. For your tee time, give them a call, 704-435-6597. Tune your game up with their driving range. And on Friday, come on out for the Captain's Choice starting at 5:30. And for that special event, keep the Cherryville Country Club in mind with several event packages available. That's the Cherryville Golf and Country Club, 200 Club Drive, Cherryville. Online at cherryvillegolf.com. Get up to $3,000 off select Polaris off-road vehicles at Full Throttle Power Sports in Lowell, or get financing as low as 1.99% APR for 36 months. But that's not all. Get up to $1,500 bonus bucks on new Honda Pioneer, Prowler, Talon models, and rev up the new year with the new Slingshot. Get $1,000 customer cash, or financing as low as 1.99% for 36 months with no money down at Full Throttle Power Sports. 100 Indian Walk in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. They're going to turn their mics on and talk some more sports.
Welcome back. Why can't I hear myself? There we go. The ear wasn't quite on. Breaking news. Hard Knocks is not coming to Chapel Hill. The deal fell through. So no Tar Heels of Bill Belichick on the Hard Knocks. Good news for you, Terry and Tom and Chip. We may no longer have the Texas A&M Yell team. Texas A&M University has banned drag shows from all 11 of its campuses. So the Yell squad may be no longer.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
For you folks that don't know what that is, please look it up. The funniest one ever was when they made fun of Appalachian, and then they come down there and just
got trounced.
I think I want them to play that at my funeral. The Yell squad. Terry, just do it. And then play the App Fight song and lower me down.
They ESPN released an article, I think yesterday, about Belichick and Carolina's basically process in hiring him. It's very interesting, and I'm amazed. I'm a little surprised Bubba Cunningham still even wants to be a part of North Carolina athletics.
Oh yeah,
because just how he basically got everything, all the dealings that got done behind his back, basically to get Belichick in.
Well, Terry, has the fear set in?
Dun, dun, dun.
Has the fear set in?
There's no fear over here, Kevin.
It's already started. It started on March 4th.
What are we fearing?
You know what you're fearing. You know exactly what you're fearing. You don't know?
No, I have
Terry,
no clue.
I thought you keep up with your school.
No, I don't. There's no fear.
You don't have no fear.
From what, the Final Four to being nothing?
No, I'm talking football.
Oh, football. There's no fear there.
Appalachian State University announced yesterday, along with NC State, they have re-signed the deal. 2026 Wolfpack and Mountaineers, and then 2028 Wolfpack and Mountaineers.
Okay. So what are we fearing? A team that we've never lost to?
You know exactly what you're fearing. You've got
a team that won the national title that the only loss they had that year was to North Carolina State.
That's cute.
How much more do I have to say?
You're going to talk so much between now and then.
You know?
And we get to play at State first, Tom, so we get...
I mean, so I don't understand where we're going.
Next year.
Kevin, I'm sorry, Appalachian State's is not what it used to be.
Neither is NC State either.
Yeah, they hired a new coach. Who's the new coach?
I don't know.
Yeah, they spoke. I listened to them speaking.
Appalachian State got a new coach? Okay.
Yeah.
What the old one leave or get fired?
I probably got fired. You know. But anyway.
I mean, he got enough NIL. They don't have the NIL money to compete.
Correct. But the new guy said he's redoing it. He's wanting out back to where they should be. And I agree with him. I mean, that's what it should be.
Well, who's writing the checks?
Yeah, that's true.
It might not matter what we should be.
Who's writing the checks, dude?
Yeah. Well, the state can't compete in that neither, Tom. I mean, I'm with all that.
Doesn't the state have
stuff.
like aerospace engineers and all this stuff
sitting in
making money?
The state capitol,
right? And why don't they write checks over there? I know they got some wealthy graduates.
We can't. Carolina can't even compete in that.
That's what's bad.
How many doctors and dentists and lawyers went to Carolina? They can't write checks to make sure that Bill Belichick's got enough money so it's, after he pays, to keep his girlfriend up.
I asked a lot of people that are Carolina fans, and I meant this as true facts. I said, how many wins do you think you'll have? And a lot of them are like 8-4, 9-3. is what they thinking that Carolina would go.
That's a good season for Carolina.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what they're thinking. They don't think Belichick's going to turn it around where all of a sudden, the only thing I told them I hope they do not happen, and this is me as not against them, but, I hope you're highest ranked as you can be. But they shouldn't take a Carolina team, Bill Belichick's first year, put them in the top 10, because then you're asking a lot. You know what I'm saying? I could see them coming in around 20th.
I haven't. Well,
the
there should be
25th.
preseason rankings out already.
Well, something like that, I could see. But Carolina should not, just on account of you hired a new coach, go from
Terry,
where you
they
were.
They put him in what, 8th when they hired Mac Brown?
That's what I'm
like
talking
that.
about, right off the bat. Don't do this to Belichick.
Let's see. They opened against TCU.
Loss.
They play Charlotte at Charlotte.
Win.
Richmond win. UCF loss. Clemson loss. Cal at Cal.
Yeah, that's at Cal. Yeah.
I think Tar Heel fans just need to realize, and State fans and everybody else,
let's go 8-4.
When you play
first year,
when you play the big boys, they've got a lot more NFL players on their teams.
Yeah,
and that makes a big difference when you. So the recruiting has got to be there on the line, the defensive lines and the defense. Like you can have all the quarterbacks you want.
And Tom Brady's not starting over.
No, Tom Brady ain't walking.
Does he have any eligibility left?
He's not walking through that door at all.
Yeah.
No. Oh yeah, this is. Oh, I got to show you guys this video. Let's see, app.
But I've never talked to your dad. I know he's a Carolina fan, and I don't know what he thinks Carolina can go the first year. I mean, I gave them 8-4, so.
I think this schedule. I think they'll be 500.
Looking at this top 10, this is interesting. They've got LSU at 10, Ole Miss at 9, Tennessee 8, Texas 7, Oregon 6, Notre Dame 5, Georgia 4, Penn State 3, Alabama 2, and number 1 still Ohio State. Now I'm going to tell you this: Ohio State changed the quarterback, lost 7 starters on defense, lost Ibuka. Okay, now I mean I'm an Ohio State fan, but I'm humble enough to know that you're not going to replace the entire. A lot of those boys stayed 5 years. You're not.
I think Texas at 7 is soft. I think that they should be higher,
especially when they got Arch Manning.
Right.
The debut of Arch
Notre
Manning
Dame is too high. They lost their quarterback.
Well, and another thing too, Tom, I want to ask you. Your JUCO guys got another year now. That's went through and passed.
Or another 2.
Because I know Hill, that come from Bowling Green, that went to state to play basketball, he thought he was done, but now he does have another year if he wants to stay another.
Just let these college kids play college 10 years. Let's go
might
make a
as well.
career out of it.
Let them get their doctorate while they're.
I got my MD while I was playing football. I mean, whatever. I just don't think.
Diagnosed myself with CTE.
I think really Ohio State, if they finish in the top 10 next year, I'd be satisfied with that because they lost so much on defense, man. Now they say they got some good recruits, but it's playing together too, man. Those guys had played together, and they were like really Buckeyes. These guys stayed,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just hard to just take the next guy, and Terry, it's more than just talent, man. It's more than just.
You're
talent.
talking 22 guys here now,
right? I mean, and it's
you ain't
like
talking about
7 guys like a Jack Sawyer who was born and bred Buckeye, and stayed at that university, was a team leader. And I don't know if you can just replace those guys with other guys. I'm not saying they ain't disrespectful, but when you stay and keep coming back like him and JTT on that defensive line that came back and kept playing when they could have went to the pros, that was a tremendous advantage to have that. And when you lose that, of course it's the hype. Well, you won the national championship last year. You should win it again this year. You should win every year. Alabama at 2, though, that was interesting too. Alabama at 2.
They forget who their head coach is not.
I know. I was like, Nick Saban's not there anymore. It'll be fun.
And it's a bad thing because that's like the other day when State had senior night and they come out and they beat Pitt. But when you sit out there and you bring your seniors out and there's 7 or 8 of them, you're like, okay, Keats, what are you going to do now?
Yeah.
Where are you going to get players? Because you got to replace over half of your team. 75% of it you got to go replace.
Well, considering you missed the tournament, that's a good thing.
Well,
yeah.
What? Yeah, how is that? Tell me something.
They missed the ACC tournament.
Yeah, you don't even make it. The ACC tournament is the top
NC
15
State
team.
is not even
The defending
Final four,
the defending champions.
The winning champions last year does not even make the tournament.
Wow.
They didn't even get a sponsor's exemption, Tom.
That's amazing.
Did he get a provisional? No, nothing.
Them, Boston College, and Miami are ineligible. But you know, when I pulled up, I said, "Do we have an 18 bracket tournament?" It showed me all kind of brackets for 18 teams. So, can somebody explain to me why we can't have an 18 team tournament?
I can see Terry mad Googling the AC bracket tournament. They know.
Well, I mean, there's a couple ways I look at this. Number
I mean,
one,
I get it. Like, why are you not? Why
number
is not everybody
one,
not in?
we are the defending champions. You should be automatically put in, no matter what. And then on the back end of it, we went to 18 teams. Well, they are 18-team bracket tournaments. That's going to cost your league so much more money for y'all to put on, about another 4 games maybe, another day. So, I mean, what's that going to hurt you? That brings more people. More people from North Carolina State would go down here to watch State play because they think it could happen.
2 playing games.
You know, yeah, there's 2 playing games.
There you go.
We could be one of those.
Same thing for the for the Big Ten.
You just need a chip in a chair, right, Terry?
That's what I'm saying.
That's all you need. I mean, chair.
Well, I mean,
Get me a seat at the table.
We have one of only 2 teams, us and UConn, that have won 5 games in a row to get there. So you're trying to tell us we can't win 6? We can't. It can happen.
It's one game too far, Terry.
All right, after that mess. Appalachian State did their schedule reveal for this year with the help of local elementary students. So let's watch this.
Oh, this is fun.
Oh, yeah, so who's ready to draw? Let's go. Fist pumps again, fist pumps again.
So folks on the radio, they're drawing pictures of their opponents. And so, like, well,
Pitt.
Yeah. There's your 49ers, Tom. Oh, you missed it.
Sorry, what's your name again?
Back up, Mr. Lucy. Tom says 49ers. There you go.
All right.
Emily Yates. So their schedule reveal.
Sorry, what's your name again? Lucy. What would be your favorite meal if you could eat it every day? Spaghetti? Hey, Joe, she said spaghetti. Yeah.
Coastal. Oh, there's Linden. Boise State. Oregon State. It's a pretty neat idea. Georgia State.
Eagles. Oh yeah, we don't do the Eagles, but I love this drawing. I'm not that good at drawing, but I'm curious to see how you guys do.
Thundering Herd.
Marshall.
Little cute little thing.
That's pretty neat.
All right, there's Arkansas State. That's what the Wolfpack.
That's actually pretty good.
Everyone, hold this drawing up so we can see how it's looking. Okay. Hey, you gotta fix up. Let me see. That's
I ain't third grader. This gotta be second or first. Yeah. There's your drawings that landed on the on their schedule.
It's going to be a good game. It's a Charlotte game. I'd really like to go to that.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte gets App and the Tar Heels to open up the season.
Yep, they got to play Chapel Hill. They gave Chapel Hill sort of a game. Chapel Hill pulled away late.
They moved the App game. You know that, don't you?
Who did?
The App and Charlotte game.
Moved it where?
Bank of America Stadium.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's good.
We'll sit all the Charlotte fans up in the corner, Terry.
How depressing is it going to be? There's more people there than at a Panthers game.
Well, how depressing is it going to be? There's more App fans there in Charlotte.
I guarantee
in the middle of Charlotte.
They're a more established football program, Kevin. I mean, they should have more fans. I mean, as you say, like every time show. I mean, if you got your Kevin Hastings bingo card,
they better.
National Championship 2005.
They better be one.
Do you have that on your Kevin Hastings?
Do
you have that on your Kevin Hastings bingo card? We've got
500s?
Appalachian State, Ken Griffey Jr., Mark McGuire.
Well, not
like
everybody
your
can pay
bingo
their
card.
players pay their players like the Buckeyes, so we've got to do our best.
Hey, you got to play by the rules, buddy. If that's the rules, you got ask Dabo. What's Dabo doing now? Did you hear Dabo's going to the transfer portal? Hey, you either adapt or you get left behind. That's just the way it is.
Let's see, Terry. You're a State fan, right?
Yeah.
You're a Tar Heel fan, right?
Yep.
Oregon State, Texas A&M, Georgia, Clemson, Michigan. Only one team in this, one fan in here is I know that's scared to play us, Terry.
You saying Ohio State's scared to play Appalachian State? Is that what you're trying to say?
You ain't never put us on the schedule. What you waiting on?
Well,
Everybody else will do it.
Everybody
else, Michigan.
What's wrong? Y'all not as good as Michigan?
I know. They're the national champions.
They don't want to come in the shoe. They don't want to come in the shoe. They don't want to come up there.
All your hair would turn white that week.
Tennessee thought they wanted to come to the shoe too, Kevin. Remember how that one worked out?
Turned into Neyland North or something.
Yeah. Remember how that?
We
one
about beat them too.
I'm gonna tell you something. I about guarantee they gained probably
beat Tennessee.
a million more people who liked Appalachian after they beat Michigan.
Ryan Day right now is just soaking it all in because he's done as much as Jim Tressler or Urban Meyer's ever done for that program. The only coach who's got a little more legendary status than him in Ohio State is Woody Hayes.
We got to figure out how to get to the Bank of America for that one. That'd be good. I gotta get in that.
The difference between him and Urban Meyer is Urban Meyer beat Michigan every single year.
That's okay. He's got one other thing he's got to do now. He brought him a national championship.
He did.
All right, Terry's favorite day's day. Duke, Carolina, right, Terry?
Boom.
That's a good day for Carolina.
All right, we'll hear.
Yeah, right.
We'll hear. I've got
Carolina's playing better.
I got this chart Ty Lawson retweeted out.
They got to win.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
I looked at that Big Ten bracket. They do the same thing, only top 15.
I think Kevin told you to be quiet.
No,
nobody tells me to be quiet on my own show. Calvin told me it was my show.
And he can work from home.
So Ty Lawson's been tweeting out his workouts and stuff this week, and one of them he tweeted out, put the hot Cheetos down and get in the gym. Somebody asked him, "Is this referring to Raymond Felton?"
Oh God!
And Ty Lawson responded, "Don't start that, bro." I don't know if y'all have seen Raymond Felton lately. He's
huge.
He looks like Nate Newton.
Yeah, he's wanting to come out and be an offensive lineman.
He's not. Yeah. All right. So Terry says it. So this was Fox Sports ranked the best Tar Heel basketball players of all time. Terry says it's not Michael. So who's yours number one there, Terry?
My number one at Carolina?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. Ooh.
I'll give you Fox Sports here in a second. I just wanted to see what you say.
If I had to go back from the time that I've watched them play until now, Tyler Hansborough.
He's number 2 on the list.
I would daggum put him as the best that I have seen.
Are they talking about during their time at Carolina?
I don't know. It just says who are the best North Carolina basketball players of all time. That's
I mean,
what I'm saying.
there's
different ways to qualify.
Yeah,
just his work ethic of how he come to play every day.
Well, Terry, you can say that, and I love Psycho T.
You know,
but me and you go down to the park, and you take Psycho T, and I take James Worthy. I'm going to feel just fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably let you do that.
And I take Rasheed Wallace. I'm going to feel
James
just
Worthy's
fine.
not going to stop.
I tell you, the most impressive player for me.
I'd actually take Rasheed over Tyler Hansborough.
Was when I was growing up, and Jordan's just in a different. I mean, his career just it surpasses everybody's. But in terms of what I saw in the Carolina Blue, if I had to pick somebody from when I was growing up, I'd take Stackhouse. I think he was. There were times he was just a man child.
Well, there's the list from Fox Sports. Michael, Hansborough, Worthy, Vince, Sam Perkins, Antoine, Jerry Stackhouse, McAdoo, Rasheed, Tyler. Garbage list in general, but for the most part.
Vince
Tyler Hansborough was number 2.
He had an impressive career with them.
Terry just said he's got him at 1.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know how they're rating this because you can't. If you're rating it on an overall career, Hansborough doesn't belong nearly that high. If you're rating it on their time as a Carolina Tar Heel, Jordan's not number 1.
No.
He's a great player. He's not better than an average player. He's a great player, but he's not their best.
There's a couple things that went against him when he was at Carolina. Dean Smith wouldn't let him play.
I can't wait to hear these.
Guys, what does it say? Go back to the graphic.
Hold on one second. Yeah, go. Okay. Go.
Go back to the graphic. It says greatest North Carolina basketball players, but it doesn't say just their time at North Carolina. It is the greatest basketball players.
Michael Jordan
for the university.
Number one.
Then Hansborough has
not the greatest career at North Carolina.
Then Tyler Hansborough,
top 10 basketball players. So Hansborough can't be on that list. Carter and Stackhouse have to be higher up on that list.
I agree. I'm not
if you're talking
necessarily
about the greatest players who ever played for that program, period.
Jordan, Stackhouse, Jamison, Carter, Worthy. I mean, that's your top 5 right there.
Or the most impactful players on the program at North Carolina. But the way that's worded, you're asking me who the best player after Jordan, you got to tell me James Worthy wouldn't be an argument for number 2 over Tyler Hansborough?
Hansborough doesn't belong in the top 5.
No, not
there's an
basketball,
argument.
just basketball players.
There's an argument that could be made. He could be top 10, but he has no business being.
Rasheed Wallace.
Yes, Rasheed had a better career overall than Hansborough.
That list too. If you just talk about basketball player, man.
McAdoo.
I know that Sheed had a bit of an attitude, but he was a heck of a basketball player, man.
Sam Perkins.
So Ty Lawson retweeted that because look where he's at.
Yeah,
they got him on the top 10, and I've been telling people for a long time is that if you don't have Phil Ford on your list, I think Ty was the second best, and it is. I obviously never saw Phil Ford play, but I did. He should have been on. He should have been on that list.
He set the standard for the Carolina point guard.
But
he set the standard for the Carolina's 4 corners that you couldn't guard.
Yes,
but Ty. He had an alcohol problem in the NBA, and that cut his career short. But he's, to me, by far. I like Kenny Smith, but Ty's the best on that. He really is. But on this, Terry, and this is what I want to say. Everyone forgets Bob McAdoo.
Mm-hmm.
He led the NBA in scoring.
Yes,
he led the NBA in scoring one time. So let's not forget about that one. But Perkins is way too high, and Taylor Hansborough is way too high as far as basketball guys go. All right, I just was curious about that. Carolina Duke today on the KTC broadcasting here. The Tar Heels got a chance today, Chip.
Sure,
they've won 5 or 6 in a row
against nobody.
But they've been winning by big.
Against nobody.
I mean,
I think they've gotten better though, Terry.
But they've never moved from the first 4 out.
They're peaking. They can't control that.
5 weeks ago, they were the first 4 out, and these wins have not got them any better because none of them have been a quad 1, none of them have been a quad 2. All of these wins they've been getting have been quad 3s.
Yeah, I mean,
they've been winning.
I'll make the standard statement that we always make. Throw all the record books and everything out when Carolina and Duke play.
Carolina is still a 1-10 team against quad 1s. Only win come way back in December against the UCLA squad.
Let's see if they're really gelling right now. Let's see how it goes into practice against a good team. Let's just see. And the one thing that I will say,
just don't go out there and get beat by 20 or 30.
But he's just trashed his own conference. So these are all ACC games.
Right.
No, I'm
and
not
he's always
trashing.
bragging about the
I
ACC.
am bragging, but it's bad because that's what I was telling people last week at the end of our show of how bad the ACC have been against quad 1s. It was like 24 wins and 130-some losses.
I will say
120-some losses.
I don't know if Carolina has anybody that can match up with Super Kid. What's his name? And I don't know if anybody in the country has anybody that can match up with him for Duke. Flag. But I tell you, if I'm R.J. Davis, this is your last chance to really say, okay, I'm supposed to be preseason player of the year or at least a candidate. I'm going up against another player who's looks like the legitimate candidate.
How many straight has Duke won over Carolina? I can't remember last time Carolina beat them.
It's not been that long.
It's not been that long.
Not been that long?
Let me look and see.
I mean, they beat them in the Final Four.
I was about to say,
that's what I'm saying.
I know they beat them. How many years ago was that?
The ones that Carolina remember.
2 or 3.
Yeah, the ones that Carolina remember, we beat Krzyzewski's last game, at Durham. We've
remember
also
that,
beat him in the tournament his last
Yeah, I remember
game.
that,
I mean,
yeah.
you know, that's what they
I'm
remember.
looking at
That's the only thing that matters, Terry.
The last 10 matchups,
Look, I've seen them win
6-4.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen them win national championships, and they ended Coach K. If they never win another game
They've got
in the
ultimate-
history of
yeah.
the program, it does not matter one bit to me. Could Yankees fans or Lakers fans ever say something like that?
Carolina won both last year.
They
You
did.
know what I mean?
Carolina
beat
won.
them.
Carolina won
Can
at
fans
80.
ever be satisfied?
I guess I'm just in my mind. Carolina hasn't been very good this year. I
Right.
thought.
How about the old secretive contract extension for Hubert that they just kind of released midway through the season? Oh, no, we've already extended Hubert.
Yeah, they extended him.
But, I mean,
Jordan also won the Olympic gold medal as a college basketball player.
Yeah. And think about it. If
I was looking
Duke
at his
loses, they fall in a 3-way tie for first. Because Clemson and Louisville's right there 1 game behind them.
they're not going to care about that.
Yeah, but that's probably going to mess something up in the tournament. Which
What's
we're not
Carolina's record now? They won 18, 19 games.
They're 20. They've won 20
in.
now.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
is it, 14
I know,
wins in the conference?
I remember
13?
my brother went up and watched them play Stanford, and Stanford beat them at in Carolina, and then they got beat bad by Clemson. That was on TV, and then after that they started putting it together a little bit. But I guess like Terry says, they haven't beaten anybody that's good enough. Ohio State shouldn't be on the bubble.
Dang, this thing's slow.
Last 4
You might be on
buys,
the wrong network.
last 4 in, last 4 out. Next
Carolina
4
is
out.
one of the first 4 out with Texas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma.
Carolina's 20 and 11.
Now, when you say last 4 buys, you're telling me that Ohio State's in?
I guess that's what that means.
Yes.
There's no Ohio State's 17 and 13. I don't see how you can let them in. I mean, they've had a lot of close games. They've lost a lot of close games. But I don't think 17-13 should get you in the tournament. They got Indiana
Carolina
today.
13-6.
They're 13-6 in the conference.
Yeah,
but now,
I mean,
how
it's
many
not-
times, think of this, though, and I, you know, here's where I'm telling you that I think that they've put the ACC down so bad. Carolina is 13-6, 20-11, and we're out.
Yeah.
Nah, back in the old days, that wouldn't even been thought of.
20 wins and you're not in, and there's 68 teams.
That's what I'm saying. And you're 13-6 in the ACC? Ah, come on, y'all. This is starting to be ridiculous. And then when you go up there and look, I guarantee they got 12 or 13, maybe 14 SEC teams that are in this tournament.
I did think I saw something like that, Terry. That was,
And Big Ten's the same way. Ain't nothing wrong with them. But Big Ten has 10 or 11.
I think I saw one team was in. They were like 4 and 11 in their conference in the SEC or something like that. Is
Yeah,
that what you're
in their
talking about?
conference. Yeah.
I think Ohio State is 9
I mean,
and 10,
come
9
on.
and 10 in conference, I think. I think that's what I saw.
So they don't even look at that anymore. They just look at whatever their magic number they made.
Well, they
That's the only
look
thing that
they look at their
matters.
RPI or whatever, isn't it? Or what do they call it? There's something in basketball. Is it RPI in basketball?
I want to say it always
Yeah.
RPI.
Here it is.
basketball.
SEC has 12 teams in it. Big Ten 10. ACC has 3.
Because that's when you get. Remember, we looked it up like a quad 1 win. Like you could beat the same team, but
Yeah.
depending on where you beat
If it was
them.
home or away.
That's
If
what's
it's
wrong
home
with
or
Carolina.
away, yeah.
I mean,
Because
Carolina's
these big wins have been quad 3 wins.
And they're
I mean,
12. I mean, they're 12 and 2 at the Smith Center this
Look,
year.
this is how so far I am out of touch. I don't even know what that stuff means. Quad 1, quad 2,
Yeah.
quad 3. Well, I don't
We
even know-
looked
what
it
does
up
that
on
mean?
the show last year. It's
Yeah.
like you could beat like this team, but if you beat them like
At
at
home
home,
or
at home
on
it's
the
a quad
road.
2. If you beat them on the road, it's a quad 1,
Yeah.
and all this stuff.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's it was more complicated than I thought it was.
But now I will
we,
give
we
this
did it on
credit.
the show. We did it on
The
the show.
SEC
It's
at one
been a
time
little
had
while back.
14. I think there's 17 teams in it, and they had 14 of them making it. But now it's down to 12. So now we're getting a little bit more reasonable.
No, but I think Carolina's got a little momentum. I mean, if they could beat Duke today, Chip. If they could beat Duke today.
Or even here's the thing: what happens to that ranking? Even they say they take Duke to overtime. I mean, even
If
they
y'all
don't.
loss is a loss.
I don't know if they take it into
This is their
consideration.
chance
Yeah.
for a quad 1. No. Yeah, it would be because of how they ranked.
Home games against top 30. Quad 1 is a home game against the top 30. A
Right.
neutral site game against
Yeah.
top 50 or away against the top 75.
Yeah.
So there you
Yeah.
go. This is a quad 1.
Yeah.
Here's your chance. You want in, win this, you're in.
I mean, they're 4th in the conference.
That's
Well,
what I'm
that's
saying.
what I'm saying.
We're going to put 12 teams from the SEC in, and the 4th ACC team in with 20 wins can't get in. What?
Because they go back and they look at your quad 1 wins, which is 1 and 10, and your only win was against a UCLA team back in December.
Look, if they're not going to let you in the football playoffs, and they're barely letting you in the basketball playoffs, what's the ACC supposed to do right now?
Yeah.
If our champion goes 12-0 undefeated and we're not allowed in the football playoffs,
I think your best thing is when you look at it is like I brought up last week. We are like 24 wins and 100 and some losses against quad one games in the ACC. That kills you. That destroys your whole conference, because that means when you do play quad one games, you more than likely 90% of the time you're not going to win.
I'm looking over at the far pole. Y'all can't see it on y'all. This is interesting. Only one team in the ACC, the Clemson Tigers, have a winning record over top 25 teams in the AP poll.
That's
there you go.
telling.
So there you go.
North Carolina's 1-6, Louisville 1-4, Wake Forest 0-6, Georgia Tech 1-4, Virginia 0-6. Everybody's 0 for the only teams with wins over top 25. Duke's 2-2. Carolina's 1-6, Louisville 1-6.
Yeah, that's what hurts Carolina right now. That 1-6.
Georgia Tech,
well, I'll tell you,
Georgia Tech 1-4. The rest of the ACC, the other 15 teams have not won.
I'll give Carolina credit, along with Wake Forest and Virginia. They're the three teams that are. I mean, they've played a quite. And Duke. I mean, Duke's played 4 or 5 top 25 teams, but at least Carolina's going out there playing those guys.
No, I agree with that. And here's the reason I don't like how people say it, because at the start they went back against State last year. Okay, you got to win the tournament. Well, we should have. But on the bottom end of it, they say, well, you don't play nobody. Okay, Carolina's out here playing people left. They can't beat them.
Yeah.
But they're playing them. You know, and now all of a sudden that's not right.
Yeah.
Too much college sports.
Because I mean, in the bottom, the bottom line is this:
too much arguing.
Carolina, and I'm not a Carolina fan, but they have went out here and played them, so they didn't beat them. But now you got this against them because most Carolina teams going out here playing them would be 500 or above. I mean, they would. You know, the only problem that this team's ever had is their inside game. They had none. I come in here way back in December and January, and that's the first thing I said. This team has no inside game. Them guys have got better as the years went along, you know, and now they're helping the guards that they have, you know, but is it good enough to beat a Duke team today?
This is
and
telling.
Right there is like 80% against 20%.
This is telling.
That's giving them
a chance.
A decent chance.
I mean, this is.
Might have to go to the betting app.
Yeah. Hey, go just parlay.
This game is at Chapel Hill.
Yes, it's at the Ding Dome.
Okay.
This is telling to me too, and I think so much why the ACC has not gotten a lot of the love is the big networks have put their support behind where the money is. The money's behind in football, because the agreement that FSU and Clemson made with the ACC. I read the report. About how they're going to do the new ratings of the money of the distribution in the conference. Mm-hmm. Basketball ratings will be included in the brand initiative too, but at a smaller rate than football, which is responsible for about 75% of the league's television revenue. That's the ACC, a historically basketball conference. Still, 3/4 of their revenue is based off of what they do in football. And that's why you've seen the ACC, the product or the support for the product, dilute so much in the past 10 to 15 years.
Chip, tell me this though. How is the SEC, with all this money coming in now, their basketball program is now part of it?
Exactly, yes.
Because now all of a sudden these guys that, hey, man, I'm going to go down here to the SEC and play basketball now than going to the ACC because of the money I'm going to get.
Is there a fair argument that can be made that all this super conference that what the ACC has built has diluted the product compared to when it was 9 teams?
Is it bad to sit here and say that eventually the ACC will be none?
That's what I'm saying. They should just quit, right? And they should. Look,
I mean,
if your football team can't get in the tournament and you can only get 3 in a 68-team tournament, what are you doing?
Yeah, there's something wrong.
What is expand the conference?
I'm not disputing.
Start your own.
Yeah, I was about to say. Do you have any suggestions about what they should
start your own?
Yeah,
I would call everyone that's not. I would call all the other conferences that's not the Big Ten and SEC because they want to do their own thing anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead and start your own thing and name your own national champion wherever you want and let them do it because they've already kicked you out anyway. They want to pick like 4 schools out of there and that's it and they're going to move on. But like as far as the ACC goes, if the NCAA doesn't qualify you, then what are you playing for them for? Like if they're not going to.
But then
put anything on you, like
the NCAA could make the point you just made about that record. if you're that good, you need to be beating those teams more consistently.
This is where, when it comes to this tournament, and I'm just gonna
here's
take for instance, say Carolina wins and they get in.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's say we got 4 teams. If you're an ACC man, there's no way in the world you can sit here and hope that we get knocked out early. You gotta want us to advance every time.
It happened last year.
Yeah.
How many teams do we end up? We had 3 or 4 in the Elite Eight, and then 2 in the Final Four. I mean, you can make these arguments about how deep the conferences are, but at the end of the day, which conferences are going to be which conference has the pedigree to continue to make it deep runs into the Elite Eight and the Final Four.
Every year you want to give them less.
All right, it's college sports so weird. All right, when we come back, they play tonight 6:30. Coverage begins at 5:30 here on KTC Broadcasting. Duke's favored by 10.5 for you degenerates. So we'll see you. We'll be back in just a few minutes. JP, get to work. KTC Broadcast.
It's time to vote. Time to vote for the Captain's Cap Family Seafood Restaurant as Best Seafood Restaurant, Best Salad and Salad Bar, Best Sweet Tea, and Best Curbside Pickup. It's the 2025 Community Citizens Awards. Just go to GastonGazette.com and vote for the Captain's Cap Family Seafood Restaurant. Captain's Cap Family Seafood Restaurant, 3140 Linwood Road in Gastonia. Online at thecaptainscap.com.
For 5 years, Final Plunge Plumbing has won the prestigious Community Choice Award for Gaston County. Final Plunge Plumbing is a full-service plumbing company, including water and sewer main repairs, water heater replacement, with names like Ream, State Select, Renai, and Navion. They provide upfront pricing, so there's no surprises when you get your bill. First-time customers receive 10% discount up to $500. Choose the best. Choose Final Plunge for your next plumbing job. Call 704-860-5589 or find them online at finalplunge.com. You know, spring is just around the corner. Sea Acres Enterprises in Cherryville for your new carport or garage. Keep those spring and summer rains off you and your vehicle. Come in now and you'll have your new carport or garage ready for spring. And don't forget about their metal roofing, 3x12 foot, available in dark blue, rustic red, white, black, and silver Gavaloon for $30 per sheet. They will not be undersold on 40-year painted metal. Acre Enterprises, 1220 Shelby Road, Highway 150 west of Cherryville, right across from Food Line. Online at acrecarports.com and like them on Facebook too. Okay, if you're in the market for a new trailer, there's no better place than TRT Trailer Sales in Lincoln. They have the absolute best price on comparable trailers anywhere, from enclosed trailers to landscape trailers to utility and dump trailers. Also, concession trailers too, plus a full parts and service department. Ask about financing. Visit the website at trttrailersales.com. Like them on Facebook too. TRT Trailer Sales at exit 20 on Highway 321 in Lincoln. Call 877-279-7465 for TRT Trailer Sales.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Your auto insurance agencies are Mooney Insurance Agency in Maiden and East Lincoln Insurance Agency in Denver. Laundry has never been easier than it is now with a stop in at Family Coin Laundry in Lincoln. In 4 minutes, laundry is done. 2 minutes to drop it off and 2 minutes to pick it up. They do all the rest, featuring wash, dry, and fold services. And they have the big 80-pound washer and large dryers. From a shirt or a skirt to a big king-size bed sheet. They do it all. Get it clean at Family Coin Laundry on Vandiver Drive off North Aspen Street in Lincoln. Open 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week.
And we're back on Saturday More Sports Up with Kevin and the gang.
Hey, if it's not unlocked, sorry you had to limp that far. I'd have went down there. Hey, the key's right there on my door if you want to take it. But anyway, Terry looking for a drink around here. All right, welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk. We'll save that video for later. Here is something. How about a all North Carolina University bracket here. D1 schools. I hate when Twitter does this and don't fit in like I want it to.
Basketball?
Yes.
Okay.
So here's your tournament.
Charlotte's not having a good year.
Gardner Webb just lost yesterday to High Point.
You have Duke and Gardner playing the winner of Gardner Webb and North Carolina Central, Elon, ECU, NC State, Greensboro, High Point, Wilmington, Asheville, Campbell, Western, Queens, Wake Forest, Appalachian, Davidson, A&T, Charlotte, and North Carolina. Be a fun preseason tournament.
It was very embarrassing last year because, like, they didn't – the Big South Conference, the conference Gardner Webb's in, they didn't have anywhere. They were kind of in between years for where the conference tournament was going to be held. So High Point's like, oh, we'll host it on our campus. And they do have a very nice facility. High Point does. But they thought it was going to be like a coronation because they're the one program in the Big South Conference that really they've been able to have the money to get good NIL player or decent NIL players for that level. So it's almost like, but then they ended up losing in one of the first, like the second round or so. And you're like, it's almost more embarrassing. Like you've got the advantage the other schools don't have, and you can't pull out the championship. It's almost more disappointing when you don't win. But
all right, Tom, I'll let you pick NFL, baseball, or NASCAR.
NFL, baseball. You guys want to do your NASCAR segment, so let's go ahead.
Well, Terry wasn't in here.
Yeah, Terry is not in here, so we'll do a little bit of. Let's do football.
All right. Football.
The Myles Garrett situation's becoming quite a soap opera.
Yeah, that's
They can't trade him. He's got to know financially the dead cap hit on him is so huge, but he's trying to play hardball. And the latest thing is he demanded a meeting with the owner, and the owner said nope.
The owner wouldn't meet with him. Wow, I mean, that's...
I don't know. I don't know all the rules because there are a lot of rules. I don't know. Would you be willing to renegotiate so we don't take the cap hit and then somebody throws a couple of number ones at you? I could see that, but if you're just going to take an astronomical dead cap hit if you trade him now, it's like, I mean, if I was the GM, that's what I'd tell him. I said, look, man, we gave you a huge contract. If you want to be traded, we got to take a big hit on this, man. What do you want us to do? We can't just let you muscle your way out of here because you think other people don't play very hard. I mean, I get it. But next year, the dead cap hit would go way down. So,
right.
I mean, I would just say, hey, man, look, need you to play this year. But, I mean, how hard is he going to play? Is he actually going to, now you're in that situation.
Mm-hmm. He's going to take care of himself.
He's going to take care of himself. It's a business decision. So you don't want to pay this guy like whatever they're paying him. Millions, and I can't remember what his exact contract is right now. But
speaking of Gina,
you got to pay all that money for a guy who's going to be, kind of saying, well, I'm not going to hurt myself out here. I'm trying to go somewhere next year. So it's an unfortunate situation, and I know if they wait till after June, I think the dead cap hit goes down. They got all these rules about the money in football. But the management seems to think that, or at least, they're kind of standing their ground and saying, look, man, you're not going to just come here and muscle us around and tell us what to do. Which you got to give them a little props, because then if one guy is able to do that, what's everybody else in your organization going to do? Well, what if I want out of here? I'll just be a turd until they trade me. I just hate it. It's going to do because this guy's arguably, the best Cleveland Brown since. You can make an argument for Nick Chubb, but I mean, he's the best one since they came back in '99, and now it's, ending ugly. And I could just point the finger at one person, Deshaun Watson. If we hadn't traded for Deshaun Watson and give away our number one picks and throw 3 seasons away, you wouldn't be in this situation. But for the life of me, for the love of God, why did you think a man who sat out a year, didn't play, had allegations, all this baggage, why would you give all that draft capital and pay him all that guaranteed money, man? That's something I'll think about to the day I die. Just will not. But this is the repercussions of that decision.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's a sad situation. But it doesn't look like he's going to get traded. He may sit out the year, Chip. I don't know, man. He may just.
They may recoup some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you do that? Some people say that's bad. That's not good.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know he wouldn't make any money. I don't think he's, begging in the streets or anything, but you don't have to pay him if he doesn't play.
I think it'll all change once you get the quarterback situation figured out.
Yeah, but what? Yeah, Kevin. What is that?
That's what I'm just talking about for this year. Like he don't know what they got this year.
Well, they're talking about drafting Cam Ward. I just don't. I hope they don't take a quarterback. I think that all the rumors seem to be pointing towards that, but they're just rumors.
I still hold you. You had the best suggestion I've heard. Is Cousins has worked with y'all's offensive coordinator before,
Yeah, but he's old and he played said he had an injury. Said he was trying to play through an injury last year, and that caused some of the problems. So if that's true, but I don't know. I mean,
I think he throws a better ball than Deshaun Watson does right now.
Yeah, but you know, his numbers were horrible. I mean, they were really good, and then they were really horrible. And they said, well, he was trying to play through some kind of shoulder, elbow injury. I can't remember exactly what it was. But, you know, still at the same time, is that the answer, Chip? I mean, you know,
I'm just talking about for this year.
I know.
So how about this? Missouri. We look at the draft. Missouri's 332-pound linebacker.
Wow.
Hit a faster speed in the 40 than Tyreek Hill hit last year on his 80-yard touchdown.
That can't be right.
Catch.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, that can't be right.
Draft prospect in his 40-yard dash hit a top speed than Tyreek Hill did on this run right here.
He can fly, man.
20.28 miles per hour. This is what the young man looks like.
He's a linebacker?
Well, I thought he was. Now he looks like a lineman.
That's what I was getting ready
It
to
said
say.
it said LB on the tweet.
Yeah,
That's a lineman.
He was supposed to be. Dallas had him as one of their picks.
Well, if he can run that fast, I'm moving him to slot receiver.
Fullback. What
Tight
are you talking
end,
about? You're playing fullback, son. You that big. Geno Smith is to the Raiders. The Commanders release Allen. Chargers release Bosa. So you can get all. I guess you can get all the defensive ends you want.
And Dallas has freed up like $58 million.
They restructured Dak's deal
And CD.
They restructured CDs. Yeah.
So they're right there, and plus you got another $25 million plus that.
And then they asked Jerry about free agency, and he's like, "I'm not necessarily committed to improving this team via free agency."
Well, he's going to bring in some people. I mean, you're talking right now about $80 million that he's freed up that Dallas can use
for profit.
Yeah, but you don't have a quarterback.
Huh?
You don't have a quarterback.
Y'all's quarterback don't even play.
I've already said that. Y'all's don't either.
That's what I'm saying. But at least our guy who did free up money, your guy won't free up nothing.
No, they restructured Deshaun's will.
They
restructured Deshaun's deal.
They've restructured.
Hey, Terry, the first step in admitting you have a problem or in fixing a problem is admitting you have one.
Yeah, that's right. I agree.
So I thought this was interesting from the draft. This kind of happened to me when I didn't get banned or anything like that. But so this guy was reporting at the combine about things, and he caught wind that the Giants and the Jets are both interested in trading up for Cam Ward. He tweeted this out, and a few hours later, he got a note from the NFL draft. The NFL. He had his NFL draft contributor role terminated by Pro Football Network for reporting this before ESPN did. Basically,
seriously.
Brett, after further discussions with the executive team today, we have decided to no longer keep you as a contractor. We can't be liable for posted rumors that our employees did not verify or source. Please remove PFM from your social bios at your earliest convenience, as others are using you as part of our of Pro Football Network in the rumors. I'm sorry this did not work out, and we thank you for the work you did last month. And it comes out that the yesterday day before that is true. What he was reporting, that both teams are reporting up. So this is him putting it out there about how he got fired from Pro Football Network for reporting it before ESPN did, basically, and not having it verified basically by ESPN. So basically it'd be like the New York Times firing a New York Times reporter for not verifying it with the Washington Post.
Right.
Correct? Is that
yes,
what I just read?
that's
okay.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
So there you go on the why you have to get your news from certain sources.
ESPN is apparently the Vatican of sports information, and and there's an infallible. You have to verify the truth of any.
The rumor mill had Rodgers going to the Giants.
Yes, I heard.
That's still
the
number one thing.
I think he likes New York.
So Cam Ward's stock has been rising, from what I can understand.
Yes,
it has.
More so. I've heard his name more than Shadur's going first
because they've seen him throwing passes in a T-shirt. Is this? Am I right? I mean, is this why his stock's rising?
There might be a little more than that, but I'm not going to say that's wrong.
I mean, I'm just saying. A guy goes out there in shorts and t-shirt, and I'm not. This is just like he plays football for Miami. They say he's no. Then this offseason stuff, and all of a sudden, he's shooting to the top. I don't get it. I mean, I really don't get it.
It happens really real quick. The top 3 on this draft board are quarterbacks. Dart is the one that is shooting up the draft charts right now.
Yeah, Dart is.
And I always say this every year, Tom. And I told you when we got that number 2 pick, I'm like, there's going to always 3 quarterbacks that go in the top 5 or whatever. And exactly what are we going to do with that? And I say let one of these idiots that want to trade up for one of these quarterbacks go ahead and do that. If we can get, if you get Travis
How many
Hunter.
years y'all got still on Watson?
2.
Can y'all not just finish paying him off and let him go and say we're done with you?
Still going to take the cap hit.
You would, but you're going to bring in Cam Ward and say, look, we're done with all of that.
There was rumors that was one of the way they would get rid of Deshaun's contract is bundle him with Garrett.
Yeah.
Like if but because of the dead cap hit from from Garrett, it wouldn't really do you any good.
For both of them combined,
it's
that's like half your cap space right there.
I would just say, I would. They're going to have to wait to trade him, and that's what I would tell them. I said, man, I know you want out. I want to get you. If you don't want to be here, I don't want you here. But at the same time, it's like I financially can't do it.
My worst thing is knowing that as I'm sitting here for the next 7 years, y'all never going to be no better.
Why 7 years, Terry?
I just figure 2 with him and then 5 after he's gone, unless you do it now, and then it'll be 5 years.
Why is it?
That's a pretty long turnaround.
Why is it arbitrarily 5 years, Terry?
Most of the time, it takes a team that long to rebuild totally.
I don't think it takes that long.
I don't think cutting your defensive end is rebuilding totally.
No, and when you let Myles Garrett just walk away,
you gotta figure. I wouldn't let him do anything. He's under contract. He can suck it up and play. I'd tell him
or fine him.
This is exactly what I tell him. Like, you do realize asking for a trade.
But that probably don't mean nothing to him right now.
Well, here's something that might mean something to him. And here's what I was saying with these dudes that are asking for these trades. Myles Garrett, do you want your number retired here or not? Do you want a statue or not? Because you're not getting your number retired here when you ask for a trade. You're not getting your statue here when you ask to leave here.
Yeah.
I don't.
But you know, you got to come back.
He doesn't care about that.
Yeah, but you got to come back to him and say,
you don't
look. Now I'm here. But when we did this Watson deal, I thought this was it. This was us. This was me. This was him. We're all doing the right thing, and none of this has went the way I thought it would go.
I don't necessarily fault Myles because he's not. I don't know if it's being handled the right way, but he's not wrong in his mentality. This team's not. It's not set up to win right now.
If he wants to play with a winner, help the team win.
Well,
yeah, but he's only one guy out of 22.
Well, then why did the other 22 not ask for trades? That's what I'm saying.
Because they're not as valuable as he is.
He could kick rocks. You signed a contract. I don't care that you don't like.
There's so many guys that y'all do not have. Amari Cooper's already gone.
So but my thing is, why are you getting rid of people that are good?
I agree.
I know your point, Kevin.
We have 5-10 good players. Why get rid of those? Get rid of the 40 other ones that make that one happy with other good players. It makes no sense to me, unless you're getting like 50 draft picks, whatever it is. I don't care. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I mean, that's where I step back now. When I look at
Name
Dallas,
me one happy wide receiver in the NFL. Ain't none of them happy.
No,
that's not a good example. No. That position's not a good example.
This is what I want to say. When I look back and I think Dallas is not doing the right thing, we just freed up $82 million to spend on somebody. Whether we go get the right people, one of them's going to be Parsons. We're going to have to pay him. So take $25 million away from that. So now you're down to 67. So you got 67 million. Metcalf just now wants out of Seattle. Go get him. He can still play.
That's the other thing is everybody's talking about his trade value and it just blows me away how we talk about these draft picks, these mystery picks that nobody's ever heard of are so valuable. They're like, we wouldn't trade Metcalf for a 5th rounder. That's what the Panthers are asking for. And they're like, that's what the Panthers fans are arguing about. I'm like, you're telling me if he's in this draft, that's what I never get about. That's what I never get about the value of these guys.
Yeah.
Like, why is a mystery guy that you've never that played at Appalachian State more valuable than DJ Metcalf?
Yeah.
They'll take 10 draft 10 wide receivers and then trade for Metcalf in the 5th round.
I believe you can get Metcalf for 12 to 15.
I understand your point too about it's absurd that a player has leverage like Myles Garrett does, but also I do respect Garrett looking at this like I've wasted my prime here. I've got nothing to show for this. I've wasted my prime.
All the wear and tear I've took over these years being
contract
here.
Wasted his prime. He had 100 sacks. He's like the fastest to 100
well,
sacks.
And no Super Bowl.
He's defensive player of
and
the
no
year.
Super Bowl.
But
He's not
he-
Cam. He don't care about that individual award.
So I'm just, just to say he's wasted.
I want a ring,
He's
Tom.
wasted his prime.
And right here, I'm wasting my time. Because when we did Watson, it blew me too. I thought this was the greatest thing in the world.
I didn't.
But then it's been a disaster.
I thought it was a stretch.
And then when I turn around, I see all of a sudden Cooper decides he's leaving. I mean, we're losing players that should be making us better.
Maybe I'm a little biased, but I don't want anybody who's played for Dabo Sweeney. I just don't want to. I would draft.
I mean, but I understand where Cleveland fans would be coming from.
I mean, it's just when they made that trade, I was like, I cannot believe you have done. And I knew it. I knew it then 3 years ago. I knew it. I said, we're screwed.
And to me, it's hard for Cleveland to step out here now and say, we need you to come to Cleveland. The only way they're going to get people to come to Cleveland is through this Garrett deal. Because a lot of people ain't going to say, I want to go to Cleveland to play.
But something else, man. See, like Haslam wants to build that stadium out in Brook Park, the indoor stadium closer to the airport and all this. And a lot of the traditional Cleveland fans don't want to do that because they want to go sit out in the snow and all that. And that's all good. I mean, I understand Cleveland tradition. This is who we are. We're blue collar. We're tough.
It's the dog pound,
but you
man.
got to understand. But you got to understand. If you want to get the big name players, some of them are like, well, I'm not playing where it's -10.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like, do you want to be a world class city or not? And if you have this world class facility, I think it would help you. Now, the financial, of course, would have to. How much are they going to stick it to the taxpayers? Like Kevin always says, billionaires get taxpayers to pay. But I think if you had that, you'd lose that tradition. That is, the dog pound outside in the snow, all this, and all that. That Pittsburgh game in the snow. Okay, that's one for the ages. But how many Super Bowls you got?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, it's like one of those things where do you want to sit out in the snow and go 8-8 on a good year? Or do you want to have a world class facility and attract some folks that may not want to come to Cleveland
and host a Super Bowl
and host a Super Bowl? Right.
I want to see it where it's Dallas versus Cleveland in a Super Bowl. That'd be the greatest shows we've ever had.
You'll be waiting a while.
We might be.
You'll be waiting 7 years based on Terry's prognostication.
But like I mean, and I know the traditionalists and I know that, and I get it because you look at all the history books, and I've got you look at all these games back, and it's cool, and that is part of the game. I like those T-shirts that say football is an outdoor sport and all that stuff, but. If you wanna win a Super Bowl, sometimes you got to say, all right, well, we got to do this a little bit differently. It works. Look at Detroit; they've built up their team. They've got a indoor facility. So I just don't have any problem with it. I would miss the old outdoor games, but at the same time, I said
Cleveland's kind of like Chicago and Green Bay in that stand.
It would be nice.
What you grew up, what you used to
what
seeing.
you grew up with.
This week in Dallas, dust blanketed the city when Jerry Jones opened up his Super Bowl case.
He ain't even looking.
Wait a minute. See, now that's funny. For one reason being, we're talking about Cleveland, that you probably can't even see the city.
Huge dust storm came through Dallas.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put this in here for us. I wrote this down Saturday, March 8, 2025. That says the next 7 years. I am sitting here right now. For Cleveland fans, Tom, and I don't mean this in no bad way. I really don't.
I don't know how you mean it in a good way, but okay.
That usually means it's bad. Like, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings is usually followed by a phrase that will hurt your feelings.
There's my total. Next 7 years, 53 wins is all Cleveland has.
53 wins. So you're saying we're going to win 7.5 wins a year.
That's pretty generous.
That's it.
If you play the cards right, you go 3-10 a couple years, or 3-14 a couple years.
You're done.
14-3 the
That's
next
what
year.
I'm saying. I've gave you 53, and I got a feeling you're not even going to get to 53. Because at 7 and 11, you don't make playoffs. No, in any year.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back in a minute. We're going to the greatest athlete of all time. We'll be back. KTCBroadcasting.com.
It's a gigantic closeout on last year's pool supplies at today's Pro in Shelby. They've got to be sold to make room for new inventory. Prices have been reduced drastically. You can save up to 50%. All pool supplies, including pool chemicals, they've got to go. And for those backyard cookouts, remember today's Pro does propane refills, and they carry Monessa and Empire Stove imports. That's today's Pro, 1325 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, online at todayspro.com. Like them on Facebook, too.
They say good things come in three. Well, it's true at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. All right, first there's GE, then there's Speed Queen, and then there's Frigidaire. 3 great appliance manufacturers with great deals going on now at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center. Scratch and dent, scratch and dent, and scratch and dent. Hurry in now for big, big savings. Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. They're on the right going down, on the left coming up.
This is Carolina basketball.
Flips it to R.J. Davis. Pump fake for 3. Now he'll take it. Count it! Count it, baby! Left corner to Trimble. Jab step, drive, foul, and the bucket.
On the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Drives left against Taylor. He's fouled again. I don't know how, but he got the bucket. Bonds with Trimble going down the center of the lane.
This is your radio home for the Tar Heels.
Tar Heel basketball on Carolina Country WCSL and the Boss WOHS. Grizzly the Greeter says come to Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes in Cherryville for their first 3-house special this month. For the first 3 tiny homes sold, including Airbnbs and mother-in-law suites, you get free engineered stamp plans. Also, now take 20% off new metal buildings, including carports, garages, and barn dominiums. That's Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes, Highway 150 East in Cherryville. Online at blessedbuildings-tinyhomes.com.
Be ready for grass cutting season with a stop in at Boyd's Tire and Appliance and Boyd's Lawn and Garden in Clover. Only a short drive for big, big savings. Check out their line of Aaron's, John Deere, and Gravely mowers. Get 0% financing for 36 months on a new Gravely mower, but also special discounts on Gravely stand-on equipment. Plus Echo and Steel chainsaws, trimmers, and blowers. That's Boyd's Tire and Appliance and Boyd's Lawn and Garden, 124 South Congress Street in downtown Clover. Online at boydtire.net.
Chances are this spring and summer, kids will be running through the house right out of the swimming pool. And where will that water go? Right on your floors, of course. But have no fear. Flooring America is here in Kings Mountain, along with Carpet One Interiors in Gastonia. They've got the new waterproof LVP flooring for only $250 a square foot. Protect your investment today. See the selection at Flooring America, 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain, or Carpet One Interiors, 2757 East Ozark Avenue in Gastonia. It's time to get yours today.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with the King of the Gang. We're in the last leg of the race, and they're actually showing a track on the screen. So we are in actually literally a race.
Everybody's having a good time at the Winston. And this fella brought his own battery-powered blender. And he's set to go for another 30 laps. Never know what you're going to find up there in the grandstand.
Now America right there. Man.
America.
That's when America was great right there. People want to know. That's right there. when you're allowed to bring your battery-powered blenders into the NASCAR races.
I'm glad we're getting it.
Time you could bring coolers
You can bring coolers now.
into the track.
Yes. Yes. No problem. Just can't bring big giant ones.
I thought better long term.
No, you can't bring big giant ones. That was funny that one guy's behind and my son going to the race, they had one of those big coolers and they got stopped by security. He's like, "What do you mean I can't take it?" It's like you're supposed to be able to fit under your seat, Tom.
Yeah,
so something to that, like a 12x12 or something.
I
like
bought
that.
a ticket to put this thing
no,
in.
it was one of those 2 people have to carry this joker type things. So
cramp.
Yeah. when you that fast. Chip, the umpires are just limping around.
We're going to have to start hiring it.
That hurts. I don't care.
We're going to have to hire a trainer for the show, man.
So
I feel it for
here's the trophy for for the race on Sunday, Terry, do you think they just had that and then went in and recolored the bottom part once they changed the track?
Probably.
Oh, God, guys.
Just change it to whatever.
Like, why is the top part still on there?
Yeah, why is it still there?
But anyway, there's a lot of people asking that. Was this pre-made before they changed that idea?
Love it.
Like, we ain't fixing that trophy. Corey LaJoy, you know him, right?
Yep.
He tweeted out that he would buy an OnlyFans subscription of Shane Van Gisbergen's footwork.
Oh, Lord.
Van Gisbergen tweeted back that he could showing it for free, brother.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, this guy right here is supposed to be a street racer,
right?
Which, you know, he's only been in NASCAR, I think, the second year.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking
this
about.
Is first full, yeah.
Yeah, and he did win one. He did win the Chicago race last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they had. But that's when people was talking to me, and I try to tell people, if you are a road course driver, hey, I can pick your picks. I can tell you who's going to be where. I can tell you almost who's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Because last week, Christopher Bell ends up winning the race. How many road courses has he won? He's won 3. Who finished second? William Byron. He's won 2. Tyler Reddick finished 3rd. He's won 3. Chase Elliott finished 4th. He's won 7. Kyle Busch come in 5th. And Kyle Busch doing good in the road course is good, but he has won 4. Now, you go beyond that. The only other 2 drivers down here that would even be in the same vicinity, Kyle Larson's won 6 and A.J. Allmendinger's won 3.
He just wanted to be able to announce that Kyle Busch finished in the top 5.
Well,
That's why he shared that.
I'm proud of him. I mean, you know, him finishing 5th, I always say Kyle Busch is between an 8th to a 15th guy.
Well, what's wrong with
in a road
those
course.
tracks
now
showing out who the good drivers are?
Well, no, it's not showing out who's a good driver. It's only so many going to win it.
Wait a minute, time out. Well, I know that, but why?
It's showing good all-around driving.
Let me ask this, Terry. No. That list is very interesting to me.
Ryan Blaney, how many has he ever won? 1. Denny Hamlin, how many has he won? He's a great race car driver.
I'm glad you said his
He's
name.
won 1.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that.
Joey Logano, how many has he won?
That was the next name I was about to say.
1.
You're proving my point.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know whether I am
You're
or
proving
not.
my point. No,
but
that's what I'm saying. No,
Daniel Suarez
Right.
won 1.
What I'm saying is that the guys who people have accused of always having the best equipment all the time, the Denny Hamlins and the Loganos and the Larsons of the world, you're sitting over naming a bunch of guys that aren't accused of having all the equipment. And those guys have always been said, hey, put us in a car, any car with the same equipment, we're going to be better than those guys. And so I think those road course numbers are showing some of the, it's showing like Logano. Like, if he competes in every track, everywhere we go, why is he not competing on the road course?
Yeah, he finished 24th last week.
Why is he not?
That's what I'm saying.
If he can,
you
if
can't pick him.
He can block and wreck people on the big tracks, but he don't know
Cole
how to drive
Custer,
around these people.
Xfinity champion.
Mm-hmm.
How many has he won? None.
He's behind Jimmy Johnson in points right now.
You know, well, that's what I'm saying.
After 3
Eric
races,
Jones, he's a good race car driver.
After 3 races, Jimmy's ahead.
He's won none.
Jimmy's ahead of 3 guys who are full-time drivers.
Yeah.
So when you go look at this and you go road course, I can pick your people. It's simple. It's not hard.
I'm glad.
That's fine. I mean, I mean, Rusty Wallace used to traditionally be known as a short track driver. He was always good at Bristol and
I'm
Martinsville.
glad you mentioned all that, because when you go back to the old drivers and how many, here's where you come in. Jeff Gordon with 9, Tony Stewart with 8, Bobby Allison with 6, Ricky Rudd with 6, Rusty Wallace 6, Tim Richmond. These guys are no longer racing. Tim Richmond with 5, Darrell Waltrip 5, Martin Truex with 5, Mark Martin 4. I mean, you know, you go down through here, you pick up all these other guys, but nowadays in NASCAR, give me 6 guys. You give me 6 guys, I give you the rest of the field, and I'll beat you.
That's road course wins right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that means that those guys are better drivers than what we got today.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
I'm Terry. I think you're upset about it, and we're just saying like that sounds about right.
It sounds about right. I mean, I would
like you say Kyle Busch is a good driver and he can drive anything, and then you look at that stats. He's won what?
He's
4 or
won
5
4
races.
My
So-
grandfather got my dad into NASCAR, and thus got me into NASCAR. And my dad's quote is, "It ain't my daddy's NASCAR. It's just not."
So like, guys, the Cup NASCAR does have a problem here. This weekend at Dakota, the Xfinity Series actually ran faster lap times than the Cup Series.
Oh,
yeah, think of that.
By almost a full second, basically. It's not that far off, but either way, you want your Cup cars to be the fastest.
But they don't.
in
Now,
there.
it used
there's
to
the
be-
Le Mans, the Gran Turismos, the Xfinity Cup.
But now,
there's the laps.
wait a
Laps.
minute. Think about what we're saying here, but then think about on the back end of it, how many of them Xfinity drivers have moved into NASCAR for this year?
Now, but it used to be like with
There's
Busch.
a good many that has moved from Xfinity to NASCAR
with,
to race.
with Busch Grand National, though, it used to be that the Busch cars didn't have the same. Their engine setup was not. They didn't have the same horsepower.
So
is that still the same? Is that still the case? And they're still outrunning the Xfinity or the
I know
Cup cars.
the car don't weigh the same.
Right. So okay. So here's what the tweets were that was following it and talking about it. They said we would like, this to be fixed, but they're scared NASCAR will fix it the wrong way.
Yeah.
As instead of giving the Cup cars the horsepower that we just showed you last week with Richard Petty talking about, they need more horsepower, 100%. Instead of doing that, they will say, well, they'll just probably take it away from the Xfinity cars. Instead of giving the fans what they want with the more horsepower in the Cup.
Yeah.
The reason I was reading that they got around on this is because they are lighter and smaller and a little bit thinner, and that's why they were able to get around this track a little bit better.
They're at Phoenix this week,
because
aren't
we
they?
don't have because the Cup cars don't. If they had enough horsepower, they would have beat them. But if the Cup cars don't have that enough horsepower, that weight differential makes that much difference on that track. So, yeah, but that's what the guys are saying. Like, they're going to do the wrong thing. Instead of giving them horsepower, they're going to take it away from the Xfinity probably. So, not what's your best thing. You don't want your Xfinity cars outrunning your.
I just want to say, Jackie was listening to the show and was worried about what happened to me. I'm cramping up during the game, buddy. I'm okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make. It's not serious. We would not joke about it if it was serious.
JP's stretching him down the hallway. He's feeding him pickle juice right now.
I tell you what,
he'll be back in a second.
JP's pouring pickle juice in
Well, I
his
was
mouth.
telling somebody the other day, man, I said, just getting too old to do doubles, man. I did doubles Thursday and Friday, and then
it's hard.
You think you're okay, man, but then you realize, man, I'm 50 years old now, and I used to do this all the time when I was about 35.
Well, Tom, that's just like we was talking, and I tell people, I said, you don't realize you're getting old until you go to a doctor, and he says, man, you might need hip surgery,
Yeah.
And you start thinking, and you're like, and then he mentions other stuff that could be wrong with you, and you're like,
I'm just
I
telling you,
hope
man.
not.
I'm just telling you,
But
man.
it wasn't.
I'm okay now. I tell you what, man, I don't know what it is about a cramp, man, but that is just like somebody sticks a dagger in your leg.
I don't care what it's
done.
at, as long as it don't happen to me at nighttime.
You try to concentrate.
Then
Your concentration's
you can't
gone.
get out of the bed
Oh,
because
God,
it
it's
hurts
happened,
so bad.
It's happened to me. I did that one time. I went down and rode bikes. I did, I can't remember what it's called, the Swamp Rabbit Trail, I think, in Greenville. And then I came up and umpired a baseball game like an idiot. And then I went home. And in the middle of the night, you're just screaming. My daughter comes out there. Is he dying? I said, no, it's just a cramp. But I'm going to tell you what, you feel like you've been
Worst
shot.
thing that can happen to you is to have it at the same time in both of them.
Oh, God.
I've had that happen one time to me.
But that was funny.
I never want
it's
to
funny
see
that
that
you would
again.
say that to her because it was in my right leg. And
Yeah.
then this one was in my left leg. I was like,
Do
God.
not need that to happen.
Yeah, that's
Right,
But
that's enough
anyway,
about cramps.
that's right. And about our getting old.
Hey, you're fine. I'm trying to find the schedule for this weekend. NASCAR schedule for everybody. Give them a
ACC tournament will be on WHS and
Hey,
WCSL
today,
as well.
people want to know State Carolina play at noon today in the women's. Okay, for them
That-
to go on to the championship tomorrow.
That will not be covered on KTC broadcasting.
Well, I'm
Unless
just saying
Cal-
they play.
unless
Last time they
Calvin does.
played, it was a 1-point win by Carolina.
Yeah, it'll be. You
Yeah.
know, they're all good. Duke's good too in the women's. Duke,
They
Carolina
play the
State,
fighting.
all good.
They play the fighting Irish.
practice and qualifying today at 2 and 3 for the Cup Series. Xfinity Series tonight at 5. We will not have coverage of that because we will have Duke and North Carolina on both stations tonight, WCSL and WOHS. Tomorrow's coverage, Sunday, the Shriners Children's 500 will begin at, I think, 2:30 our coverage is. They got the race marked at 3:30 from Phoenix here on the interweb. Any other final thoughts and anything, guys? this week that we
Burns
missed?
goes up to TCR last night. They lose a tough one 2-1. But I tell you what, stepping up to the plate, going up to play TCR, good TCR team. But they come up a little bit short. And if you join the show late, controversial loss by Crest last night. They lose by 3.
Yeah.
They're eliminated by Hunter Huss moving on. They beat Ashbrook. So congratulations to Hunter Huss. We got a local
and
school.
a lot of other teams. from
Yeah, and
around
we've
here.
got, you
And
said the Stuart Kramer girls and the
North Lincoln and
North
Stuart
Lincoln girls
Kramer
moving
girls,
on.
yeah,
So
moving
just
on.
wanted
East
to
Berks moving on.
Yep, give a shout out to some of our local teams.
There's East Lincoln's and St. Louis Cardinals. Alex Burleson taking some short hop
He
drills.
turned into a
over
pretty
at
darn
first
good
base.
baseball player.
Well, they're trying to move him to first
Yeah.
now and see if he can do some of that, and we'll see. They're just awful.
Every day, every day the Yankees go out and play a spring training game, they lose another player.
All right. Kansas City lost Perez for a
100?
couple of weeks.
That's easy.
All right, real
10,
quick.
10.
We'll win the show on thoughts from Barry Bonds.
10 100-mile fastballs pitched to you today. You hitting any of them out?
100? That's easy.
Right now, today.
I don't care how hard you throw a baseball.
They gone.
There ain't no way you can throw a baseball 66. I can't just do like this. If there's a catcher behind home plate that sits like this with a glove, and you throw 100 miles down, he just go like this, boom, boom. All I did was change this object to a bat. Boom, boom. I ain't got to change nothing. I just changed the object.
Right now.
Now, if you're asking me to do something spectacular, that would take time for my body to get used to it at 60.
But just going up there.
But to go up there and hit it,
like
I
riding
don't
the
care
bike.
how hard you throw it.
Yeah.
As long as I can see it, I hit it. Willie could do it back, even when in his 60s. Him and my dad and them would come and hit all the time.
I got more quotes from him in this interview. We'll do next week more baseball. But he's talking. He got a lot of fun thoughts about him and respect the kids that today don't act like they don't even know who he is or respect him.
I tell you what, I wish Barry Bonds would give a clinic on hitting an inside pitch.
Yeah,
well,
to high school kids. That
he just
don't know
did.
how
He
to
said,
hit
"Just
one.
swing quick."
Yeah.
Replace your glove with a bat.
Yeah, that's all I said. You're just like trying to catch it with your bat. Yeah, I know that, Barry, but it's moving.
Much easier
at a
said than
hurry.
done.
All right, we'll see you guys next week on Shock Joxx, KDCBroadcasting.com.